What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Tuesday night. It is Tuesday Night Titans, episode 149 for your Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York. As always, joined by the one and only, he's all gas, no brakes with it, the Silent Monster. What's going on, man? You don't got the braids to do it, man.
I don't have the braids would go flying around all over the place. It would look so much better. I can't do it the way he does.
I don't know if you'd actually get down on one knee and bow to Roman like he's a Roman emperor. That's the thing.
I wouldn't get down on one knee and bow down to anybody, especially not you.
No, you just got me wrestling Bruno Sammartino and be the booker.
Come on now, you can't. You got to admit, like that would be one hell of an attraction here for the New York City market.
You gave me a good ring. You didn't give me the buzzer. I was shocked.
Well, yeah, because look, I think I could sell tickets with that match. I think it's an attraction. I think it works. You could pick a lot worse opponents than Bruno Sammartino if you were going to imagine yourself being in a match. Who would I want to get in the ring with? Bruno is. He's a potential Mount Rushmore guy.
Yeah, he's a Bruno or Hulk in Madison Square Garden for sure.
Sure.
That's crazy. I got to ask, man, did you see, I know you saw, stupid question is that, I know you saw, the end of Oak Street, the new trailer?
Yes, I did.
That looks that's my summer blockbuster right there, man.
I saw, it's the movie I'm looking forward to the most from here on out. That's it right there. I've been looking forward to that one for months. That one kind of came out of nowhere when I saw the teaser trailer a few months ago. And I was sold on the teaser trailer, so now I saw the full one, and it looks really, really good.
I didn't expect us to get that many dinosaurs in the trailer.
I actually tried to look away because I just feel like so many of these trailers they give too much away, and so I didn't want to see too much of it.
I think you did the good thing, man. It actually ruined the surprise. There was a couple big ones in there. I gotta admit,
there were. A bunch of people saying that the dinosaurs actually look pretty good.
They do. They look fantastic.
Very hit or miss when it's not a Jurassic Park movie, but apparently in this one they did a good job of them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what the whole reason is for why it's the end of Oak Street and how they got there. But listen, I'll be in the theaters that week watching that. I haven't done anything yet. That and the Odyssey. I gotta go see the Odyssey because it's what's his name that did Dark Knight.
Yeah, but I don't know. It didn't really entice me.
No?
I
don't know.
You know what enticed me?
Yeah,
the back rooms.
I know. I haven't seen that yet. It's not even. I'm gonna go see it. It's not in the theater that's in town here. Yet it's like always a week delayed. And you're obsessed with Obsession. I hear you talking about it all the time.
Well, it's the best movie of the year.
I might have to go see this because you've mentioned it almost every stream that you've been on since it came out.
Well, look, it's already made history. It's about to make movie history. Yeah, on a budget of less than $1 million, it's projected once it reaches the end of its theatrical run to probably do like $250 million worldwide.
That's crazy. There's a lot of rich people after that movie, huh?
It's insane.
It's crazy.
It was supposed to come out on digital this week, and everybody was like, no, cancel it, because they want to see how high it can go. And so they made the announcement. Today, actually, was supposed to come out on digital, and then all of a sudden it got pulled from the calendar. So I guess they're giving it the full 45-day theatrical window that most movies get.
Oh, good.
So every weekend so far, it has made more money than the weekend before. They said that no movie has done that in 44 years since E.T.
Wow.
Or it made more money in its third weekend than it did in the first or the second.
Well, they may push it over. They may push it over 300 million if that's the case.
It could be. I don't know if you saw the story after the Spurs won their series the other night. Wemby, apparently he took all of his teammates, all the team members on the Spurs, out to a movie, and the movie he chose to take them to was Obsession. Because he said he wanted them to unwind. Now, as someone who has seen Obsession, I just laughed at that because I wouldn't say Obsession is exactly the kind of movie that you unwind to. It might traumatize you. I don't know about unwinding, but I just thought that was fun. I could just picture an entire movie theater full of all the San Antonio Spurs, not knowing what the movie's about, just sitting there, not even knowing what they've gotten themselves into. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I don't know if that's going to push them over the brink to beat the Knicks, but who knows? Well, stranger things have happened.
We'll find out. It's too bad for the NBA though, because most people will be tuned into AEW Dynamite tomorrow night, so they're not going to get to see the game.
Yeah, sure thing.
They should have scheduled it on a different day, man. I mean, come on, they got some stiff competition tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, really. And I got a recommendation for you. Have you watched on Netflix The Burrows yet?
No.
Bro, you got to watch The Burrows from the Duffer Brothers, the guys who did Stranger Things.
But what's it about?
It's all I could say without giving much away. It's supernatural. It's like gotten kind of freaky in about 6 episodes in.
Is it centered in New York?
No, it's centered in a old age community out in the desert somewhere.
Oh.
So strange things happen in the desert. But it's basically Stranger Things with like senior citizens.
Okay.
Really, with old people, yeah. It's the best way for me to put
it. Easier for us to relate to.
Yeah, yes. It's very like, old school TV sets and cassette players and things like that. So you'll find some fondness in it.
You said the boroughs. I thought it was about like Manhattan and Brooklyn and Queens and okay.
No, the community that they're all living in is called the boroughs.
I see.
This old age community. So if you got time to watch it, watch a couple episodes. I think you'll probably get sucked in. I'm already 6 episodes in. The thing is, there's only one season, and they're already greenlit for a second season, and the second season won't be out till the end of 2027. It's like, you fucking people, man.
Yeah, well, that's the way it works now. Look at this new Batman movie. Like I only first saw the Batman like a month ago. It took me 4 years, but for everybody who saw it when it first came out, that movie came out in 2022.
Yes.
The new one isn't even going to be out until the end of next year.
That's fucking. So you actually watched it at a prime time. I watched it like 2.5, 3 years ago. It's like I'm still waiting for the fucking thing to come out.
Yeah. It's crazy.
All right. Well, guys, we got a great show for you lined up, man. It was a crazy weekend. It was probably the busiest weekend of the entire month of May. We had Clash in Italy. We had the follow-up on Monday Night Raw with the King and Queen of the Ring tournament starting. And we had that tremendous Mexico show, AAA show with Mask versus Mask, El Grande Americano versus OG El Grande Americano. We're going to go over that. I know a lot of people wanted me specifically to make a video on it. I said, no, we'll wait till Tuesday. We'll talk about it together. We'll definitely dive into that. We got just a little AEW to talk about tonight. I know last week some of you were very vocal. Jason, they were very vocal with me. Why so much AEW on this show? I'm like, they did have a 5-hour pay-per-view on Sunday last week. So, I don't know what you want me to do.
But then if we don't cover it, well, how come you didn't talk about any AEW?
Yeah. This is a pro WWE podcast, man. What's going on? Like,
you got to find that perfect blend.
So we got just a little AEW for you. We'll go over the Fallout show on Dynamite and what's to come tomorrow. MJF is defending his world championship against Roosh, and we'll talk about Kevin Knight's explanation and where they may be going into Forbidden Door, this Forbidden Door season. So we got a loaded show for you guys. Thank you again. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. You guys know where to find me. If you guys want to find Jason on social media, you know where to find him at Solomonster on X. Everything you need for him is down below in the description. Also, YouTube. Go and subscribe to his YouTube channel as well. You did get, I'm sure you did, another episode of Uncrowned up today, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you want to tell the fine people?
No, I mean, it was my first chance to even really talk about the AAA stuff. So, of course, I dove into that in Clash in Italy, but also some stuff that I was not able to get to on Sunday. Some TNA stuff, this contract stuff with Leon Slater. This Ric Flair stuff from last week, the latest embarrassment with Ric Flair. We talked about that. I'm sure that'll be very entertaining if you want to check that out. So, yeah, Brett. Brand new episode of the Uncrowned Wrestling shows up right now.
There you go. Go check that out. And Super Chats, you guys know what to do with them. It's the best way to support us here on the show each and every Tuesday. So get them on in. We will read all your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, opinions, and Sidro's jokes at the end of tonight's show. All right, man. I'm going to pass you the ball. What do you want to talk about?
Well, why don't we travel to Monterrey? And why don't we start there? Because I know we're going to be getting into the Italy stuff and the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring and all that. But it really goes back to the beginning of the weekend. I mean, there were 2 big shows this weekend. You'll notice I said 2. I'm not counting that show on Friday. And on Saturday, they had the, now what was it? The Noche de los Grandes, I believe was
Yes.
the name of the show.
Yes.
And I know both of us checked out the shows. I will say this, just top line, like the show itself was good. It was not great.
No.
The main event, though, I almost kind of look at it as like the show and then the main event.
Yeah, it almost felt like the main event didn't belong on that show.
Well, no, it felt like the rest of the show didn't belong with this main event. They didn't really go together. Ray Phoenix, happy for him. You know, he's the new AAA Cruiserweight champion. Didn't get a whole lot of time. They got like 11 minutes. Again, you just see him and it makes you wonder, you know, why is he not doing more? But we ask that question every week. We had Vikingo, right? Vikingo, I think, is the new Latin American champion.
Yes.
As Vikingo matches go, nothing terribly special.
No.
Good for him, though. I mean, he's dialed it back because he was getting hurt all the time. So,
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's the Undertaker telling him, bro, you got to calm it down.
well, yeah. And so, you know, he kind of had no choice because if he kept running at the pace he was running at, doing all the things he was doing, he just wasn't going to last. He was going to burn himself out. The War Raiders, I didn't think they were going to do a title change there. Now they're the AAA Tag Team Champions. That was the weakest thing on the entire show.
Yeah, they didn't really get much of a reaction down there, huh?
No, they don't get much of a reaction in the States when they come out, you know, because they're not emphasized as any sort of serious act on Monday Night Raw. And in AAA, they don't get much of a better reaction. So it kind of made for a dead match. And then it was all about the main event. This entire event was built around mask versus mask. And they've been promoting it for so long. And what we got, kind of to sum it up, was what I feel like is the best of pro wrestling, right? It's as bad as things can get in pro wrestling. Every now and then you get something like this where it reminds you of why you love pro wrestling. And to me, that's what that main event was on Saturday.
Yeah, I said largely the same thing. I centered it around, everybody knows that I love the NXT Black and Gold era, and I see a lot of similarities with what they did there here, and it genuinely felt like the old days when I was watching NXT Black and Gold and a takeover show on the WWE Network. It's got the same vibe. Doesn't have the same commentary team. JBL is just nauseating, and Rey Mysterio is one of the most boring color commentators I've ever heard in my entire life. The crowd was incredible. The talent in the ring in that main event was unbelievable. You know, I mentioned, and I don't know how you feel about this, The Undertaker is getting a lot of praise. He's not the only one down there. I know there are others on that team as well.
Yeah. There's one name in particular. Now, the thing is, we don't know the makeup of the creative brain trust there because Conan I know Conan had a role in that. We haven't heard anything new about Conan. He's been in the hospital, I think, for months.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were those reports that he lost a leg and he was in jeopardy of losing another one. Nothing's been confirmed, but so I don't even know how involved he is right now. He's got his own health issues going on. But I feel like one name that doesn't get mentioned enough is Jeremy Borash because we know that he's involved. And I'm sure he's involved on the production end, but how much is he involved in creatively? We don't know. So I know Undertaker is the one who gets the credit on the credits at the end of every show. Paul Levesque, Mark Calloway, and his name is there. But I kind of feel like it might be a situation where Borash is not getting nearly as much credit as he deserves. So it's at least worth mentioning that he is involved in the process.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing either. Obviously he's been credited with doing some tape stuff for Triple H, vignettes, and, getting stuff ready on that end. And he's done a tremendous job with that. I think, he's had a hand in some of the cinematic matches as well that WWE's done during the pandemic era. So he's a valuable asset, but Nick Khan's been sitting front row, Jason, and obviously this is a big partnership for WWE. They want a big footprint in Mexico. Why are they allowed to do basically what they need to do? Why are they turning it into like a raw, uncut NXT Black and Gold like show where us fans here in North America on the main roster, that's what we kind of envisioned the main roster to be, with still the WWE stamp on it, the commercials, the advertisements, all that pomp and whatever they're doing now. It feels like two different promotions. It's almost like Triple H is now looking at NXT as the developmental system. And I said this on my end. It looks like Triple H is basically looking at a mirror image of himself when he ran Black and Gold with The Undertaker running Triple H. It's like now he's got to compete with what he was doing with Vince on the main roster, except Vince was heavy-handed in ruining shit. I don't think that type of attitude is going to happen on the main roster. But why is there such a vast difference in quality compared to what we're seeing there and what we're seeing on the main roster when the guy who's running the main roster is basically where The Undertaker was?
Well, because it's two completely different products. Like now there's talk about AAA, they're maybe looking for like a TV deal or I don't know what they have now, maybe a better TV deal. And I hear that and I think to myself, that might be the worst thing that could happen to AAA, because if they get like a big TV deal, let's say even domestically, they air on television, some network here in the States, to me, that's almost like the beginning of the end, because it will probably end up being turned into what we see, each week on WWE television. Because I think the weekly shows for AAA, how long are those shows?
They're only an hour. They're only an hour.
Yeah, they're only an hour. There's no onslaught of like advertisements. And if that were to happen, I think that's going to change. And so people's attitudes are going to be very different at that point. So I don't know how hard I'm wishing for that to happen. They kind of have a good formula the way it is now. If it's just two totally different products, obviously culturally, two vastly different products. WWE has turned AAA into, basically they're trying to turn it into a Mexican WWE, but AAA was kind of doing that themselves for years. They tried to model themselves after WWE's brand of sports entertainment. So it's not radically different, but you have the cultural differences. And also it's just a very different product. It's almost unfair to compare them because, a lot of the names they have on there and that lucha libre culture and the way they do things down there, it's not Raw, it's not SmackDown. It's just different. So when you compare them, you're comparing a 1 hour weekly lucha libre show to 2.5 hours of Monday Night Raw on Netflix with, the constant advertisements, and they serve so many different masters there. 3 hours on Friday with SmackDown. I don't know. I look at it as two different products. And so Undertaker and the guys down there are going to have certain freedoms that, Triple H wouldn't have, because it's just, he has responsibilities that they don't. If Undertaker was suddenly transplanted into Triple H's position on the main roster, it's not like Raw would suddenly be great. I would like to think that maybe he has ideas that he can contribute that would make the product better. But I don't want to sit here and be like, well, if you just moved him over here, things would be so much better. Maybe not, maybe not. So, but I like the fact that it's not the same. Variety is good. I don't want AAA to be just like WWE. I think WWE could learn a few things from how things are being done in AAA, but they have their formula. It's not going to change. I mean, we've been over this a million times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they don't have smart people who work there. So it's like, well, how come they can't come up with, ways to make the show better and ways to make the show more fun? And there's a reason why, but it's maybe not apparent to all of us. They have their formula and they do what works for them. But the AAA, the show on Saturday, did that air on? I wonder if that aired on television locally.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I know it's over 2 million views on YouTube though.
Well, it's more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, on the WWE, it aired on the WWE YouTube channel, which is where I watched it. And I know that video, that stream, I think last I checked had like 1.8 million views. And then if you check the AAA YouTube channel, it's got like another 430,000. And then I didn't even realize this. There's a Fox, what's it called? I want to say it's like Fox, Somos Fox YouTube channel, which is like a Fox, the Fox affiliate down there. And they aired it there. And on there, it's got like 1.1 million.
Oh my God.
So I think when you add it all up, it's like well over 3 million views. And we don't know what it did on Netflix last night, by the way.
Yeah, they really pushed that shit on Raw last night. I mean, there had to be at least 3 or 4 times that they mentioned it.
More than that. More than that, including full-blown vignette. I mean, they aired the post-match. I saw that and they showed Chad Gable's speech in the unmasking. I'm like, why are you showing this now? If you want people to tune in, what the hell are you giving this away for? So yeah, we don't know. They tacked it on to the end of Raw. And so who knows on Netflix how many more, maybe another million, probably upwards, I would say, of like 4 million people ended up seeing this match more than has probably ever seen a Chad Gable match ever. And good, because it was the best of pro wrestling. I think more people should see it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a perfect recipe for everything that you love about pro wrestling. Undertaker gets it. He's probably the greatest entrance in the history of professional wrestling. So they both came out with mariachi bands, and there was just this big spectacle for both Americanos. Crowd was into literally everything for 30-plus minutes. They did not waver at all. Everybody that's been featured in this bill, that's been on the harassing end of OG Chad Gable Americano,
the blind comedian.
Pimpinella was out there. Andrea was out there. She bought a ticket. She had to get fired first before this match even took place. So she was out there in the front row. I mean, everything just worked. Honestly, it reminded me of the glory days of those NXT TakeOver main events. It was just fucking unbelievable. The post-match was great. Gable, before he unmasked, he had his family in the ring. They both got cut open in the match. They were both bleeding under the mask, which actually gave the match that added oomph. So when Gable took off his mask, and
none more than Gable. Gable was the one. He was bleeding a gusher.
Yeah, he was. But I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if he did this purposely, because Gable's a smart guy, I'm assuming. He took his mask off, and the sweat and the blood, the cut on his head, he wiped his head and wiped all the blood and sweat, and it all dripped down his face on the camera. I don't know if he did that for effect because he knew the camera was on, but I thought that was a great shot.
Yeah. I'm sure he did. I mean, he knew what he was doing. And it added a lot to the match. I mean, this was the culmination of like a blood feud. I mean, we talked about that pull-apart brawl a few weeks before WrestleMania. And that's the best pull-apart brawl in wrestling I've seen in years.
I said that should have been what Cody and Randy was before WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, I mean, Randy Orton, I don't think Randy Orton's had that sense of urgency in 15 years. But... yeah, I mean, so that's just one example of it where these guys, they made you believe in that moment, like, man, these two guys really don't like each other. They're really stiffing the shit out of each other, and they're being pulled apart and everything. So this was a grudge match. This was a blood feud, and this was the payoff. And so when you do that, something like, getting blood in the match makes all the sense in the world because they don't abuse it. And if you're going to do it, this was the time to do it. And I also think that they realized, look, we can't get away with doing this shit on Raw.
Oh my God!
Gable's like, man, this may be the only chance I have to actually get some color here. So remember when make it count.
Remember when everybody was like, let's get this on the WrestleMania card. We were all predicting the WrestleMania card. Can you imagine if this match took place in Las Vegas at WrestleMania, how fucking belittled it would have been, and given 7 minutes and nothing would have happened?
Maybe it would have been on that first like ESPN 2 hour, and it would have had like maybe 6.5 minutes. Guaranteed. Like, I mean, the women's world title match had like 7 minutes. You think Gable and Kaiser would have gotten that much more? And I was one of those people, like, if you go back 4 months, let's say, I'm like, okay, it felt like it was building, though, to a WrestleMania match, right? That's what it felt like. But as it went along and we saw how much these people were behind Kaiser and the heat that Gable was getting, we came to the realization, like, holy shit, that would have been a terrible decision. And the only place for this match to happen was in Mexico, because when we would see them on Monday nights, nobody cared. It was total apathy, or people treated it like a joke. Nobody cared. It's just a 180 when you would see it play out on the AAA shows. So it would have been just fucking malpractice to have it anywhere else, but in Mexico. And then just the build up to it, the presentation, the siesta, whatever they had a couple of days before the show. Everything, the way everything built to the match before they even got to the ring gave it that big fight feel. And at 33 minutes, it never felt overly long.
No.
At no point during the match was I like, all right, let's take this thing home. That's kind of how I felt watching Tribal Combat. I didn't feel that watching this match. And then to get that kind of reaction on the 3 count, you see all the fans jumping up and down and rejoicing. And it was just, you kill for that, you kill for that kind of reaction. And it's funny, you mentioned the announcers before. That was my one criticism. As much as I love this, my one critique is that I cannot believe, knowing as far in advance as they knew that they were going to have this big show in Mexico on that date, that they did not fly all of the announcers. And that Ray was there, but JBL was clearly remote. And Corey Graves was clearly remote. And I understand Corey was in Italy. He probably did the commentary in Italy, which if that's the case, he probably had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do this fucking show.
You know, I'm glad you're talking about this, man. This has been bothering me for the entire week. I'm like, they kept telling you Corey made the flight from Monterrey, Mexico, all the way to. There is no fucking way he got on a plane after that show was over to go to Italy, man. No way.
No, he was not there. He was not there. And this is the way the weekly shows are. And that's fine. If that's how the weekly shows, they want to save money or whatever, or just logistically it's easier, then fine. But for this show, they needed to be there. They needed to fly them in, have them at ringside. If that meant that Corey couldn't do Clash in Italy, then have Wade Barrett sub and have him do Clash in Italy with Michael Cole.
He's there usually anyway. Of all the shows that they want to feature Corey Graves, this is the weekend to do it. Every other weekend's been Wade Barrett.
Yeah, I mean, so that was my one critique, because when they're not all together, and look, we do commentary, okay? And we usually have 3 people. And when we're all standing next to each other doing commentary, it can be bad. It could be difficult enough making sure you don't step on each other's toes. You're not talking over each other. It's not easy. Now imagine if you have 3 people who are all remote. They're not even in the same place and they're trying to do commentary. Okay, so that's a challenge in and of itself. And then there's that little delay where there's like a 2 or 3 second delay between the commentary and what you're seeing on the screen. My regret, and it's not a knock on Corey's commentary, but my regret is that I didn't watch it with the Spanish commentary, because I feel like even though I wouldn't have understood a lot of what they were saying, like that never affected my enjoyment of that when I would do that with the like the big Tokyo Dome main events on the Wrestle Kingdom shows. I would watch the Japanese commentary. Now, I didn't have a fucking clue what they were saying, but holy shit, like the enthusiasm and the excitement in their voice, man, it would get me pumped up.
Yeah.
So that's my regret. I wish in watching it live that I would have watched it maybe on the AAA channel and with the Spanish commentary, because they were there. And I also feel like it affects the audio.
It does. You can easily tell that they're not there. Easily tell, bro.
You can tell.
It sounded and felt like a tape show.
Yes, you could tell. But what I was going to say is, I almost feel like because of that, the audio from the English announcers kind of overpowers the crowd noise a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas if they were there, the crowd noise would have been louder, if that makes sense.
Yes, the crowd was very low for what I was hearing. Yes.
It was a little muted, and I think that was the reason why. So again, it's a minor thing, but like that's the only critique I really have about any of this. And then you look at Ludwig Kaiser. I mean, you talk about happy accidents. I mean, think about how we got here, right? This thing started out as like a comedy gimmick that somebody else had. And then Gable getting hurt was the best thing that could have happened to either one of them. Yeah,
you remember when Gable got hurt, he was in the back, he was holding his arm, and then there was Kaiser in the background, and we were asking, what the fuck is he doing looking at Gable? And all of a sudden, the next week, he was in the mask.
And so he took it, and again, people looked at it as a joke, and it was for a long time, but like he embraced it. And I don't know if he just... I know he knew Spanish to some degree prior to this, because there's video of him from many years ago and he's speaking Spanish. I don't know how fluent he would have been back then, but he's pretty fluent in the language. And that's the big difference, because there are people like, oh, I feel bad for Chad Gable. That could have been him. I don't think so, because he doesn't know the language the way that Kaiser does. And I don't think you can underestimate the importance of that. And then, of course, he's got a hot Mexican girlfriend, and so they've embraced him. They've welcomed him into the culture there. And honestly, like I see all the success that he's had. I don't think he should ever take the mask off.
No, bro, he's lucha through and through. There's lucha in his heart. This is his career. It's over.
This is and that's all he needs. Like this is his career right here, because he will never be as over as just Ludwig Kaiser. Than he is right now.
Or Gunther's fucking heavy, or tag team with Fabian Eichner. It would have never materialized into anything. He probably would have ended up released in a budget cut.
Probably.
That's
so
fucking,
I'm happy amazing. For him. It's one of those happy accidents. You could never have predicted it. I mean, who would have predicted that? The best WWE match that we've seen in years was contested between Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah. So I'm assuming they're going to belt him with the AAA Mega Championship at the biggest show.
No, I mean the natural path here now is to put the belt on him at Triple Mania.
Yeah,
I mean I don't see how it could really go any other way. Dom's had that belt for how long now? If anybody's going to beat him, it's got to be him.
And they got a natural storyline with his father now as the general manager. So it works
Sure.
for that show. So that should be exciting. As far as what Gable does, Gable took the mask off. Gable is obviously one of the most underutilized and underappreciated talents in the entire wrestling industry, never mind WWE. Now with him, this was clearly the biggest match of his career. This was probably the biggest moment of his career. WWE sees what he did here for this match and for Kaiser. Do you think now, finally, this is the wake-up call for Triple H to push Chad Gable on the main roster? Because this all started, if you guys remember, with him putting the mask on, and his first match was against Penta. Or Penta's first match was against Gable, which prompted Gable to go to Mexico to learn the art of Lucha Libre. Do we now run this back, come full circle, going into SummerSlam? Do we do Gable Penta at SummerSlam in Minneapolis and belt him with the IC title? Do you think Triple H is that risky?
Is it really risky?
No, well, to him, yes, it is. Like,
why though? I mean, why?
Because they don't look at Chad Gable as that. They have never. I don't trust them with Chad Gable.
Oh no, I'm not saying I trust that they'll do it. I'm just saying I don't look at it as risky if they do that. To me, they're fools if they don't give him a push coming out of this. Because, and I was kind of thinking about this earlier. It's like, after everything that they, and the highlights and everything they showed last night, and they really pushed that replay of that match, I was surprised he wasn't on the show last night, but it's like, okay, maybe travel-wise he couldn't be there or whatever. The match just happened. Fine. But if he's not on Raw next week, or if they really want to build to his return, if we don't start getting vignettes, if there's not anything related to Chad Gable on the show next week, then I think that will tell you what you need to know.
Yeah.
Because how do you not have him back on the show like ASAP? You've got to take advantage of this. Now, if WWE really wanted to push him as something serious, my take is they would have done it by now. Is this going to be a wake-up call for them? Call me cynical, probably not. It probably won't be. But if they had their wits about them, I think that makes a lot of sense. Even though I see Ethan Page as probably having a better chance of winding up with that belt in the next few months. But I think Gable pushing him as a babyface towards the IC title, which they never gave him before. They teased it, and he never did win it. To me, that makes a lot of sense.
I would do it. It's time. It needs to happen. But
you got to do something with him. Like, if you don't do anything with him now, then they're not going to do anything with him. And he may as well leave and go somewhere else. That's where I think Jeff Jarrett wasn't totally wrong, because Jeff Jarrett made that comment.
I have that pulled up here. This is why I kind of mentioned this to you. Gable should absolutely win the IC title, in my opinion, at SummerSlam in Minneapolis. But Jeff Jarrett said Chad Gable needs to be ready to leave WWE. Jarrett says, I just don't see WWE pushing him because he worked under the Vince regime. And obviously now he's worked under Triple H's regime, but they're not all of a sudden magically going to go, oh yeah, he's our guy. So he goes on to say, I would absolutely leverage the contract situation with New Japan, having new owners and so on. I just think he needs to keep doing what he's doing, but be ready to leave. I don't see TKO coming to him and saying, hey, man, you performed great in Monterrey. We're going to give you a bump in pay. I just don't see that. I think he could monetize his talents more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're not going to give him a voluntary bump in pay.
No.
I don't know how much time he has left on his contract. That's the only thing. Look, Jarrett, as somebody who has worked there, and not just as a performer, but he was in management at one point, probably has a little insight into how things, how their mind works when it comes to this stuff. So, but he's not totally wrong. Like, if they don't take advantage of this and they don't capitalize on this and they squander this, if I'm Chad Gable, I don't know, at my earliest convenience, I'm looking at the exits, because if they don't do anything with him now, they're never going to do anything with him. And we're talking about the Intercontinental title. Let's just be honest here. Like, Chad Gable could be a world champion.
He could.
Now, it's not going to happen because we see who has the world title, and we have to be practical about this. But I don't think either one of us are saying that he doesn't have the tools to be a world champion. He absolutely does. Like, he's not just a great wrestler. He's got like the entertainment aspect of it down pat. You saw that with the El Grande Americano stuff. That's why he reminds me so much of Kurt Angle. And I'm not going to compare the two and say one's better than the other. Kurt's in a category all by himself. But like when they did the whole Kurt Angle, his long lost son or whatever, like the reason that so many people, myself included, were like, well, Gable's just the natural for that role. So of course they went with Jason Jordan. is because I mean they kind of look similar, but like there were so many similarities in their in-ring style and just the way they wrestled and worked. He's got all that down. The guy's an Olympian, but he's also very entertaining. You want him to be a heel, he could be a heel. You want him to be a babyface, I think he can make a hell of a babyface. He kind of checks all those boxes. He's not a big guy. And that's always been a mark against him. Hence, Shorty fucking G. Okay, let's not forget that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and there are still people that want that person back. Fuck off. So he's got all the tools to be a world champion. It's just the current title picture in WWE is not going to allow for that to happen. So you look for the next best thing. The next best thing would be the IC title.
Well, I hope that Gable is going to ascend the heights of WWE to that point. It's ridiculous to even think that they may not even do it, but
they might not.
I know.
We're not going to be shocked if they don't.
No, it's more sad than anything. But we'll keep an eye on that. Gable should absolutely be factored in. I hope that this is really, if these shows continue to be like this and they continue to put on main events like that, hopefully it's a wake-up call for Triple H to say, you know what, maybe I should get my act together. I doubt it, because I looked at this as like kind of the inner competition within the company. Like everybody's so riding high on the Undertaker's creative, or quote-unquote Undertaker's creative in AAA. So I hope that Triple H is looking at that and all the praise that Undertaker's getting. We should be doing that for Triple H too, but we're not. And it's actually very sad. Just a small note here. The guy who produced that match between Kaiser and Gable was Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne produced.
Who was also in the match.
He was in the match, yes.
Pulling double duty. He was producing it and he was part of the match.
Yes. So we will keep an eye on AAA. They're gaining some momentum. They will be having, AAA is having Triple Mania take place in Las Vegas and then in Mexico. So that's over the span of 3 days. SmackDown's going to be in Mexico City. Monday Night Raw is going to be in Mexico City. So they're doing a whole stint for this Mexican tour, which is funny because AEW just announced today that they're coming back to Mexico, in Arena Mexico, for Grand Slam Mexico. And they put the graphic out and the poster out. Andrade's on the graphic. MJF's on the graphic. And it's happening legitimately, Jason, a month apart. So it's like WWE, man, they're so obsessed with kind of sticking it to AEW where they can. Mexico, we got you. The UK, we got you. Forbidden Door, NXT, we got you. It's like every move that they make, man, it's like they're moving that chess piece just at the same time. It's fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, Triple Mania, I think, usually is in September. And so these tapings are, I think, that week, right? Or the week after, the week before. Yeah. So, I mean, that one is less egregious. I mean, yeah, the Forbidden Door thing is, I mean, that's par for the course. But look, them going back to Arena Mexico was a must after that show they had last year. I was like, man, you got to make that an annual thing.
Yeah.
But last year it was in June. Now it's in August, so it's pushed back a little bit. But it just made for a very fun atmosphere. I think that was the show where Hangman came out, right? And
he spoke Spanish, yeah.
Did a whole promo in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that was the beginning stages of MJF and Mystico.
It was. Which did big business when they did the blow-off on the anniversary show.
It was a great match. Mm-hmm. Two more questions here for you before we move on to Clash in Italy. Has this been the best feud in all of WWE so far?
I mean, this year, yes.
Yeah. What was this the best match? Well, clearly it was the best match in WWE, but I'm going to go a step further because I know Jason was big on Okada and Takeshita, and that was probably my favorite match as well from Double or Nothing. Right now, that's on the top of people's lists. Was this the best match in all pro wrestling so far up until this point?
It probably was. I mean, it's kind of crazy that those two matches both came within a week of each other.
Yeah.
Not even a full week went by. So that's a hell of a week. I love that Okada Takeshita match. That also had a hot crowd. That was something that had been just dragged out and built up for so long, to where also it was like the big grudge match that, people were waiting for. But I think when you factor everything else in, the presentation and everything that went into it, I mean, how could it not be the AAA match?
Yeah. Well, listen, when we're all kind of down on pro wrestling and it's boring and there's nothing happening, there's nothing substantial, nothing keeping people's interest, there's just that one little thing that kind of peeks its head out and everybody's like jumping for joy. That's this. So appreciate it when you get it because it's been very scarce. That's all I could say as far as pro wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, again, when I look, and we're not even really quite at the halfway. We're almost at the halfway mark for the year. Just off the top of my head, I mean, when I think of my favorite matches of the year, what I think are the best matches of the year, a lot of them involve emotion.
Yeah.
A lot, or either emotion or like a hot feud. So like this one would probably be at the top of the list. And then you've got like Okada Takeshita's like right there with it. Roman and Punk from the main event of WrestleMania. Tanahashi and Okada from the Tokyo Dome.
Yep.
Tanahashi's big retirement match. There was a lot of emotion there. And those guys had their working boots on because they knew this was it. So that's another one. But
I gotta throw MJF and Hangman Texas Death on there as well.
Sure, but not above the ones I just mentioned.
No. I thought you were just talking about just overall matches of the year, but I know you were talking about emotion. Yes,
emotion, but those would be the matches that I would have at the top of whatever order you want to put them in. Those right now, as we sit here, would be the matches that I would have at the top of my list.
Yeah, I didn't see the Tanahashi match from January, so can't really speak much on that myself. But yeah, appreciate it while you got it, guys. Little things like that just kind of peek themselves out every now and then, and it's great. We'll go into Clash in Italy, and I thought this was largely a good show. I know some people, for some reason, this was a very up and down opinion on Clash in Italy. Some people liked it. Some people hated it. I saw some other content creators really just kind of shit all over it for whatever reason. And I don't really blame them, Jason, because I said this on Twitter the night the show ended, or the afternoon when the show ended. These shows there's nothing objectively bad about these shows. These are the shows that you want to watch to get some good pro wrestling, even though I fucking hated Gunther and Cody Rhodes only going 12 minutes to open the show. That was fucking ridiculous.
Well, it wasn't even 12. It was like 11 and change, I think.
12 minutes for two of the best pro wrestlers in their industry, man. I don't really understand it, but it wasn't objectively bad. There's just this terrible feeling of emptiness that you feel at the end of these shows, and it's like, okay, I got a good pro wrestling show, 5 matches in, but what else is there to talk about? Usually you watch these shows and you want like somewhat of an angle to play out, something that's going to kind of happen on these shows that gives you a reason to watch Monday Night Raw, a reason to care, something that's going to carry over into the weekly show on Monday, or a surprise ending, or a big title change where people are just really like, oh my God, I don't believe they did that. How could they do that? Nothing happened. Nothing. We got one title change, which was Sol Ruka winning over Becky Lynch, and she's the new IC champion, but nothing happened. Well, how'd you feel about the show when it ended?
I felt it was I thought it was a good show in terms of the in-ring that we got. But on the whole, it was a very middle-of-the-road show. It felt like a very unimportant show. And one of the big selling points of the show was the crowd. And it was the same thing with Raw last night. Those fans in Italy, they brought it. It made me think a little bit of when they were in Lyon for Backlash a couple of years ago in France.
Yeah.
And you had that crowd and how great that crowd was. So kudos to the Italian fans, man. I thought they were great over the last few days. But if that was in front of your standard WWE audience, I don't think I would look as kindly on the show. I think that had a lot to do with it, just kind of the atmosphere of it. But the in-ring was good. But when it was over, it was like, all right, it was a show. We just had Saturday night's main event the week before, and
I couldn't tell the difference outside the crowd.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of a Saturday night's main event, which is weird because coming into it, I said, man, this show is kind of low-key stacked compared to Backlash. Like going into it, you look at the card, it was bigger than Backlash.
Yeah.
We actually got 2 men's world title matches on this show, and Brock came back. But when it was over, it was like, there was stuff I liked, there was stuff I didn't like, but I wasn't really compelled to, want to go back and watch any of it again. So that was kind of my and I put a poll up on X, and I think the poll results, kind of reflected that, where it was maybe, I don't know, low 40s on the thumbs up side, and then maybe in the upper 30s, thumbs in the middle. It was a very mixed bag, very mixed reaction.
Don't you think this is a serious problem? Like to me, it's a big problem.
They don't see it that way. They don't care.
Well, I certainly do.
But they don't see it that way, though. They don't see it that way.
Bro, Triple H is the type of guy that's going to wear an umbrella in the shower. That's how fucking safe he is. It's fucking terrible.
You'll notice with these PLEs, by the way, when they do these post shows, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe he came out in front of the fans.
No, this is the second time. Yeah, second time in a row.
No, this is more than the second time. I mean, this has been multiple times now
Well,
where he's afraid to go out in front of the fans.
Well, there's no shortage of interview with Kathy Kelly before where he says this may be the dawning of a new era or this changes the foundation of WWE, is what he said.
Well, you just pull the string in his back and he'll just say the same thing over and over again. So I'm not surprised. But
how much does that toy go for at Target? $49.99?
Oh, at least minimum, yeah. Yeah. I mean, look. Go to the opening match. So they opened the show with Cody and Gunther, and they really pushed that this was on the first hour is on ESPN, and I think this is part of it where you're on ESPN, you're not going to get like a 25-minute. And you weren't going to get that anyway. And I know why they did this because it was just the first match. But part of it is also the fact that they're on ESPN. And I think, you're not going to get as long of a match as you would get if it wasn't airing.
But you have
on
a whole
ESPN.
hour.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Technically, you don't.
What are you talking about? You got one hour.
Two matches. No, you got another match. But you need time for video packages and commercials and all the gaga that goes on in between. See, you're looking at it completely wrong. See, you got to look at it from like a WWE brain. If you have, let's say, an hour, right? You don't really have an hour.
Bro, Jake Cargill, I don't want to cut you off, but Jake Cargill and Rhea Ripley went 18 minutes.
Sure. But what I'm saying is you don't really have an hour. You've got to leave time for all the advertisements and all the promotion and all the bullshit.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
we had a PLE on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Sunday. We had a PLE in Clash in Italy, as it is with all the PLEs, where in between the matches, I mean, dude, you can make a 4-course meal and come back up and they still won't be in the ring for the next match. There's so much dead air and dead space in between the matches. This is the new formula because it's not just about the matches. They have all their other bullshit that they have to promote. And you got to factor that in.
What Jason's talking about is because I timed it on my phone. The match with Gunther and Cody ended at 2:22. The match with Rhea and Jay didn't get started till 2:37. All that time in between.
There you go. And you ask yourself, what are they doing in that time in between? What is going on in those fucking 15, 16 minutes in between these matches? Not a whole lot. Like if I'm watching it, I end up watching it on Netflix, but I get the counter in the corner of the screen telling me how many ads are left. And it's like 8 ads.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, for 4 minutes.
But then they come back and they're just promoting something else. And then the entrances begin. And so that, I mean, as soon as that happens, that's going to be another fucking 12 to fucking 14 minutes. And then finally the bell rings and the match begins. But this is just how it is now in WWE. You just have to, you sort of accept it and you move on because it's not going to change. But we had Cody and Gunther open the show, and if there was going to be a world title change on this show, I figured that it would come in this match. Little did I know we would get no top title changes on this show.
You're talking about, man. You're talking about Oscar the Grouch Levesque over there, man. He's part of Session Street Cast.
Yeah. So they go in there. I'll say this about Cody and Gunther. It was only 11 minutes, but they work well together. I mean, they had a good match at Crown Jewel a couple of years ago. The limited wrestling we got from them here, I thought was good.
Yes.
There just wasn't enough of it.
No, they didn't really kick it into the next gear.
Yeah. And then we had that finish, which I just thought came off very weird. And I know why they did it, because they wanted some controversy. And if they're going to beat Gunther, we have to do it in controversial fashion. And we got to set up the rematch at Night of Champions in Riyadh. So that's why they did it. But he still got pinned. He got pinned, and there was some confusion about, whether or not, what just happened here. I just thought the way it came off was incredibly fucking lame. And then Gunther just kind of walks off to the back because he pled his case to the ref. The ref didn't want to hear it. His foot was clearly under the bottom rope. And then Cody yanked on the other leg, which picked the leg up, so the leg wasn't even under the bottom rope anymore. And that's how the match ended. The visual of Cody Rhodes pinning Gunther, which is Gunther's first loss in almost a year. He hadn't lost since he lost to CM Punk at SummerSlam last year. So now they have this story, I guess, going into Friday where he's going to plead his case to Nick Aldis. I got screwed. The referee didn't see my foot. And so we end up with a rematch. That's why they did it. But I just thought it came off very lame.
Yeah, it was definitely a what the fuck type of finish. It wasn't a good what the fuck. It was like
No,
it was like they really did that kind of what the fuck. So we go to Night of Champions. I felt the same way. I thought it was a situation. They really made him look like a big geek. So we go to Night of Champions now in Riyadh, and that's at the end of June. Are we looking at, I'm sure we'll get a longer match, but are we looking at another Gunther loss here? I mean, they had him visibly pinned and losing to Cody here on this show. Are we going to beat him again in Riyadh?
probably.
Because I can't envision them taking the belt off Cody Rhodes before Madison Square Garden and then SummerSlam.
It doesn't feel like it, does it?
No.
It doesn't feel like it. I think if it was going to come off of him, it would have come off of him on Sunday. I think they're just going to prolong it. They're going to give Gunther a reason to get that second match. And think about it. If Cody beats him again, though, Gunther will be 0 for 3 against Cody.
And he'll be an even bigger loser. The career killer losing.
Sure. Yeah.
Worst thing they did was strap him with this fucking career killer gimmick.
But I think there's a very good chance it ends up that way. I mean, we still have a whole month. Let's see where things develop. It's still too early to make predictions for Night of Champions, but yeah, I never really understood why Gunther's first feud after being moved to SmackDown was going to be with Cody if he wasn't going to win the title. That just never made any sense to me. But it seems like we may be headed in that direction, especially with all these teases of Roman and Cody, and where's that going to go?
I thought that was weird.
That belt off Cody?
Yeah, why were they doing that? Like, what's the purpose of doing that now?
They're
Planting
teasing
the seeds.
something. They're teasing something.
Crown Jewel. Too early to tease Crown Jewel.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's too early. I mean, they're just dropping little hints now for something that's coming later on. The only question is it Crown Jewel or is it WrestleMania next year? I feel like there's a lot of balls up in the air right now, and they're just sort of doing these teases, and then they really haven't figured out when or if they're going to be doing this, and if they are, when is it going to be?
You know what I hope it is? I hope it's the fact that they realize that they have failed to create top guys enough to put in front of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at the same time, because look at the situation we're in. We're handing losses to Gunther because we can't find anybody for Cody to beat on Friday night. What I'm hoping they do is realize that we don't need 2 world championships, and they have a unification match and have 1 world champion back. That's what I hope they do.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a unification match. I mean, look, when is Crown Jewel normally? Is that October?
It took place in October last year, yeah.
Then October is when Street Fighter comes out. So we know that the 2 of them are in the Street Fighter movie, which is coming out, I believe, in October.
Yeah.
We could be looking at a situation where they're trying to time it with the release of the movie. I'm serious.
Oh my God. No, I know you're serious. That's the fucking problem.
It could be as simple as that, and neither of their belts are going to be on the line. It's just going to be, for the Crown Jewel belt.
Who wins that match then?
Probably Roman.
Can you imagine being in the writing room for that fucking match? Who wins?
I just think that's a political football right there. But I think in the end, Roman is the one who gets the dub if they do that match.
I also joked that the only reason why Cody and Gunther only went 12 minutes and Roman and Jacob Fatu went 28, almost double the amount of time, more than double the amount of time, is because Roman didn't want to be upstaged on the same show that Cody was on.
Roman's going to get it all the time he wants. He needs time to tell his cinema.
And listen, I hope I'm in the ballpark. We don't need 2 world champions. We don't need 2 tag team champions.
But he does, dude. You sound like a broken record.
I know.
We all agree.
Let me sound like a broken record then, because I've been saying the same thing since 2016.
But you're gonna get 2 champions whether you like it or not. That's not changing.
I know.
They won't even merge the tag team belts. You think they're gonna reunify the 2 top championships?
What?
The whole reason that the world heavyweight title exists is because Roman had the other one, and they didn't want to take it off of him. And then on Raw, nobody had anything to fight for because he never showed up on Mondays. So they created a new big gold belt. So you can't go back to the way it was and unify them, because if they unify them, guess who's going to be holding it? Roman Reigns.
Well,
right back in the same boat.
Well, the way that they come off, it's almost as if Roman's holding the #1 championship in the company anyway. Cody's number 2.
Yes. You're only first figuring this out?
No, I've been figuring it out.
Very clear. As long as Roman is showing up on the show, for the time being anyway, and hopefully through the summer at least, he's full-time, he's on the shows every week. Whatever championship that he is holding, if he is holding a title, that will be the de facto top title. So like right now, if you were to say like, okay, which title feels like the biggest belt in WWE? Like, to me, it's not. It's a no contest. It's the World Heavyweight Championship because Roman Reigns has it, and Roman's their guy. I mean, Cody calls himself QB1. That's cute, but let's be honest. Just look at the booking and the way things are playing out on TV. The World Heavyweight title is now the top title in the company.
Well, you wouldn't know because he's easy to find and hard to beat.
I don't think he says that enough. I think he needs to say it even more.
Oh my God!
I'm easy to find. Hard. It sounds like some terrible, cheesy, like late 80s, early 90s.
It sounds like something a video game character would say, like Guile. Like before the thing, I'm easy to find and hard to beat.
Yeah.
And then you see fight. Like, come on, man. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If he had like a trading card, it would be his signature quote on the back of the card.
So stupid, man. So yeah, Cody, he retained over Gunther. I mean, the controversial finish, is it enough to get you to find any interest in SmackDown on Friday because of the way the match ended? The answer is no. No. So we'll see what happens on Friday and how Gunther complains. Maybe he'll quit like Drew McIntyre, or maybe he'll get fired or suspended for a couple of weeks so they can build this into Saudi Arabia.
Oh, gee, that's such an original idea. We haven't seen that before.
I'm waiting for him to get suspended for 3 weeks so they can put this match on the Saudi Arabia show. Oh, my God, man. I wouldn't put it past them. We'll see. Jade Cargill, she went one-on-one with Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's Championship. This went 18 minutes. This got a lot more time than Cody and Gunther did.
Well, Rhea's super over. So.
Yeah, Rhea's over. I mean, I love Rhea. People apparently don't like Rhea. I don't know why, but Rhea Hogan.
Well, anytime somebody is successful and super over,
yeah,
you naturally are going to have people who get sick of that or jealous, and or they just think they're over pushed or whatever it is, and so naturally you're going to have people that just hate you. I mean, that just kind of goes with the territory.
I know.
Like Cody has haters, and they all do, but. I will say this was, in my opinion, the best Jade Cargill match that I've ever seen her have.
I heard you say that. I'm like, really?
Yes.
I thought the WrestleMania match was better.
No. I thought this was better than WrestleMania a little bit.
Okay. Why?
What do you mean why? Well, I mean,
what made it better?
It was longer, so they had to do more, and I thought what they did looked good. So it was like an expanded version of the match. I don't remember offhand what the exact length was of their WrestleMania match. I know it didn't go 17 minutes.
No, it went 12 minutes.
To me, this was it was an expanded version of the WrestleMania match where they got to do some more stuff. Jade, there were a few things that she did. I know there was a Blue Thunder Bomb in there, but there were a few things that she did in the match that I thought came off well. There were a couple clunky moments where they kind of were moving in slow motion, but yeah. I just thought when it was all said and done and the thing was over, and we'll talk about the rope stuff, but at the end of it all, I thought it was better than the Mania match. And so at the very least, it was her best WWE match. It's been a while since I've seen that last AEW match against Chris Statlander, but it may well have been the best match that she's had in her entire career.
Well, it wasn't terrible. I actually personally liked the WrestleMania match better. I thought Jade was just a little bit more crisp, a little bit more smooth in the ring. I felt like she was here and there and then not there on Sunday afternoon. But it did go 18 minutes. Rhea won, and she had a little bit of assistance. Now, the not-so-baddies came out to ringside. Jade hit a pump kick. Rhea Ripley escaped a jaded and then caught Cargill with a double stomp. So Cargill hits Rhea's riptide. B-Fab apparently is outside. And Jason, I don't know what it is with this spot. I thought Paul Heyman was going to make the same mistake. In fact, I could have swore he did make the same mistake last night on Monday Night Raw by putting Breaker's boot on the rope. B-Fab's on the outside, and apparently Jade was near the rope, and she goes to reach for Jade's boot, and she completely whiffs on the boot. She misses the boot. So I didn't go back and watch it. Maybe you have a better recollection than I do. Was Jade moving her boot at all, or is B-Fab just completely terrible, reflexes?
No, I mean, Jade didn't move. I saw people mention that, Jade was moving or she moved her boot. I mean, Jade was laying there and her foot was kind of flopping around a little bit, but she didn't move her boot. So I don't blame Jade for it. I mean, you could argue that maybe she wasn't as close to the ropes as she needed to be. It's on B-Fab. I mean, she just waited too long. because they want to wait as long as they can and then reach in and do it. And then maybe she misjudged how far away her foot was. And it just made for a very embarrassing moment because it's like you had one job and you didn't do it. And the referee had to hold up his count because he looked at he tried to save it by staring at them and going, "Oh, wait, I see you." And then he ejected them. So that was kind of his way of saving it, I guess. But yeah, it came off very, very poorly.
You know what I hate about this spot too? When Rhea hit the fucking finish there, right? And she does it. She's a world champion and accomplished pro wrestler. She does her finishing move near the rope. Like it makes the wrestler look stupid. This may be just me as a pet peeve, but you do that knowing that the person that you're doing the move to near the rope is going to put their boot on the rope. You don't move them away from the rope, and then you don't do it in the middle of the ring where you should. It's like set up to look stupid.
It's stupid, but I mean, it's not a new thing. I mean, this has happened. This has happened forever. Look, Razor Ramon would occasionally set up for a razor's edge near the ropes, and I'm looking at it. And I think he did this in the ladder match with Shawn Michaels. And I'm like, why are you doing it near the ropes? And then every single time, he would get backdropped over the top rope to the floor like an idiot. So I mean, this has happened for
that's
many,
a terrible
many moons.
spot too. Yeah.
Yes, it just makes the wrestler look bad, but it's not like some new phenomenon.
All right, so B-Fab missed that spot. It looked very bad. I actually felt very bad for her to look away because it was so embarrassing. Charlotte Flair came out. She jumped off the ringside barricade. Literally the same spot happened, and Charlotte put Rhea's boot on the rope after Jade hit her with her finish and did the same spot legitimately. So it was Jaded next to the rope, and Charlotte puts Rhea's boot on the rope and saved the match. It ended up with Ripley hitting the Riptide, and she got the 1-2-3 over Jade, and she retains the women's championship. Now, we will talk about Jade and Charlotte a little bit later. I don't want to jump ahead because I have the graphics pulled up for you guys. They are both in the Queen of the Ring tournament in the same match. So we will definitely go over that and see where the discussion leads. Does Rhea get Charlotte? Does Rhea get someone else at SummerSlam? It could have been, yeah. It could have been the final. That's what I thought they were. That's where I thought they were going.
Yeah.
But we may not even be getting Charlotte and Rhea. We could get Charlotte and Jade at SummerSlam. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, and we'll have some fun with that. But Rhea is still the women's champion. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. This went 6 minutes. This went 2 minutes more than their WrestleMania match. I've been on record here saying, Jason, that I thought, and I know this is a very hot button topic. Some people hated it. Some people loved it. I know Lesnar's been wrestling the same match for 20 years. So when you say you enjoyed seeing Lesnar deliver 7 F5s, it's like, you like this? Sure. I get why people don't like it, but you should expect this for a Brock Lesnar match. I thought this was better than their WrestleMania match. I don't know how you felt about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just, there was more excitement to it because the crowd was just into everything they were doing. So this goes back to the crowd where they were in front of the perfect setting for this match because they were going crazy for everything they were doing, every F5, every Oba comeback, and it just made the match feel that much bigger. It reminded me of the match that Goldberg and Lesnar had at WrestleMania many years ago, which also went about 6 minutes. And that was a lot of finisher spam. And they were just beating the hell out of each other from the opening bell and did all these big moves. And then Brock won. And this was very, very similar to that, where Brock attacked him from the opening bell. Finisher spam over and over again. They beat the hell out of each other. And in the end, Brock won. So I think there's a lot of similarities there. I also noticed, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, one thing I liked about it, I don't think that Brock did a single German suplex in this match.
He did not.
Not one.
No. Now,
we got a lot of F5s, but it was nice to not just do the same Suplex City shit that we see in every other match that, he has typically. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed parts of it more. I didn't enjoy the finish more. So that kind of soured me on it a little bit, but no, I thought for the 6 minutes they got, it was exciting, and it was a fun match. It was pretty much what you would hope a match like that would be between two big guys who are going in there and beating the hell out of each other. It's just, I don't think that Brock Lesnar had to win that match. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not shocked that he did.
No.
I'm not shocked that he did. I know I was kind of in the minority when I said, well, I think Oba, could win the match, but I I don't think he had to win the match.
No, especially with what we're going to talk about with the King of the Ring, because I think you and I are both on the same page with what is going to happen in the King of the Ring and how Oba is now in the semifinals and how we're going to get him out of the tournament. It would have made a lot more sense if Oba beat Brock, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. How do you think this made Oba look? Are you in favor of them delivering 7 F5s, one of them through the table? He stood up like he was fucking he got a huge second wind. 7 F5s here. Do you like the method in which they used to make Oba look like a monster here against Brock?
Well, I mean, they kind of had no choice. I mean, if they were going to beat him, then you have to make him look strong. How do you do that? Well, he eats. I think that's a record because I remember the WrestleMania match in New Orleans that Brock had with Roman, and he beat Roman. It took 6 F5s. So he had one more F5 here that he had to use to beat Oba. So more than any other person has ever withstood. And he got out of a Kimura lock a couple of times. And like you said, he went through the table and he rose up. So they did everything in their power knowing he was going to lose to make him look like a beast. You had to. They could, like, dude, can you imagine how awful it would have been when he jumped him at the opening bell if he hit 4 F5s and pinned him? I would have turned the fucking show off. I would have turned it off.
It would have been terrible. I know.
I would have turned it off at that point. So, no, this is what they had to do. I'm glad they did it. Look, I knew it wasn't gonna kill him. These people are into Oba enough that one loss was not going to make them go, oh, I don't like this guy anymore. It's just the point of, like, if he was going to lose. And look, there's an argument to be made for, you know, in the face of adversity, how does this person react? It humanizes them if they lose and all that kind of stuff. But again, I just think they made every correct decision heading into that match at WrestleMania. And then they did the right thing. And they just couldn't help themselves. And it's like, well, if we're going to do a trilogy, Brock has to win the second match. Well, at least in this case, it took everything he could possibly throw at the guy in order to do it. So, yeah, it couldn't go any other way if they were going to beat him. It would have been stupid.
Do you think they're looking at it in a way where they wanted Oba to lose because they don't want that albatross hanging over them about him being undefeated? Now this does humanize him and they can book him a little bit more normally now going forward and without having to worry that he's undefeated?
It could have been part of it if they didn't want him to have some sort of like streak going on, I guess. I don't think it would have been a terrible thing. I'm not even saying I would have emphasized like, oh, he needs to have like a Goldberg undefeated streak. But I'm just saying, like, nobody's ever beaten Brock, I think, two or three straight. You know, you could have made history that way and done something a little bit different that people maybe weren't expecting and really put the guy over in a major way. He's still going to be put over at the end of this, I'm sure. But I just saw that and I was like, all right, you know, this is the typical parody booking of 50-50. I get one, you get one. And it's like, all right, it's what we see all the time. There's nothing really unique about that. Unless you're Brock Lesnar, who, when the match was over, said, you know, 1 + 1. And I'm like, what?
Yes, I don't know what he was alluding to there. I don't know.
I don't know either. He said 1 + 1. You know, what was the next comment?
Something,
like,
something,
done,
something,
bitch.
bitch. Yeah.
You're done, bitch. I'm like, 1 +, okay, whatever. But they don't pay him to do math, I guess.
Maybe those 7 F5s knocked him a little loopy. I don't know.
Yeah, can he count to 7? I don't know. Maybe not.
Anyway, this was in my opinion one of the best things on the show. So Lesnar, he beats Oba, and we're now tied 1-1. How we get to a third match? There will be a third match. We will talk about that in just a little bit because it's going to happen between now and SummerSlam for sure. Intercontinental title. We got Becky Lynch defending against Sol Ruca. This was good. It could have been a little bit better. How we got here. Becky used nefarious means at Saturday night's main event and got herself disqualified. Sol Ruca had not won a main roster match up until that point. She won that match via DQ at Saturday night's main event, and then all of a sudden was gifted a Intercontinental Championship match at Clash in Italy. I thought this was all right, Jason. The thing with Sol Ruca is, and I mentioned this on the 2 Count with the coach today, because we were talking about, does Sol deserve it or not? And a lot of people are very under the microscope with the way Sol Ruca has not been as smooth as she has been in NXT, which, I mean, people need to get a fucking life and go touch some grass. It's not the end of the world. She's a young woman, and mistakes are going to happen. Some people are saying she got called up a little bit too soon. I think it's a reliance on WWE trying to find legitimately the next big female star in the company. They got Rhea, but Bianca is out. Charlotte Flair is more towards the tail end of her career than the beginning. Becky said this is her last contract. You got your Blake Monroes who are up and coming, but WWE doesn't have a solid lock on like what they had with the Four Horsewomen when Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky all came up at the same time. It's like they're looking for that again, and I feel like they really want that with Sol Ruca. I don't know if I'm kind of off there. I don't know if you feel the same way, but there's a heavy reliance on really getting her to the top here.
I mean, you could tell that from NXT. She's a priority for them because she's super over. She was super over in NXT. She was super over the night she debuted on Raw. Remember the reaction she got when she first came out to confront Liv Morgan?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, clearly she's one of the ones that they would like to build around. I'm hoping Blake Monroe also falls into that category because I think she's great. So, yeah, I mean, that's not shocking. I just felt like you could have held off on that first title win for a little bit, but whatever. I mean, it's fine. She was going to get the belt no matter what. It gets the belt off Becky, frees Becky up maybe to be used in a different role. You know, maybe I don't know if they want her in the world title picture. Doesn't seem very likely. I think they're just waiting for Stephanie to come back, which I'm guessing will happen next week. So where Becky fits in, we're probably going to get one more match. I don't think we're done with this. I think Night of Champions, maybe they run it back one more time. You know, Becky tries to get the belt back and, you know, loses again. So we're probably not done with this. This was, I mean, clearly a better match than the one they had the week before. That wasn't really much of a match. I'm just glad she hit the finish at the end. No issues, because she would have taken a lot of shit, you know, if she had any sort of issue with the Soul Snatcher again. But she hit it, and she won with her finish, which is what she should win with. And everybody was very happy when she won the belt. The Intercontinental title should be used as a stepping stone for people to get to that next level. Same with the men. It's no different with the women. Sol Ruca is going to be a world champion one day. On her road there, she will have a run as the Intercontinental champion. I'll tell you what I was worried about. I listened to her promo on Raw last night, which was nothing special. And then she was confronted in the back later by Lyra Valkyria. But when she did the promo in the ring, the way that she was talking, I thought for sure we were about to hear, I'm a fighting champion, and so I'm going to have the Intercontinental title open challenge. And I was going to bang my head against the wall.
Well, I mean, it's basically what it is. They just didn't say it. Let's be real.
Well, yeah, but I look at it as I don't want her coming out every week and not knowing who her opponent's going to be. All right, we got an open challenge. Anybody who wants to walk out the curtain. Look, if there are going to be people confronting her, asking for title matches, and she wants to give them one, at least it's a different way to go about doing it. But like, I legit thought the words "open challenge" were about to come out of her mouth, and this
is another one of these things in the modern day of pro wrestling. Listen, my age may be showing, bro. I can't stand like the typical trope of babyface. I'm going to be a fighting champion, bro, shut up. Not like you don't need to be a fighting champion. Let's line up some challenges, let them win some matches, and then whoever wins those matches, you get that person next. We don't need to have the title defended against anybody and everybody on the roster because.
Come on, dude. Bret Hart was a fighting champion who defended his belt against the 1-2-3 Kid and Adam Bomb and Papa Shango.
This guy's fucking mentioning Adam Bomb in 2026. Bro, I'm not comparing anybody to Bret Hart, man. It's just not right. Okay?
I'm just saying, though, he was a fighting champion defending the belt against fucking scrubs on TV.
I'd rather watch the 1-2-3 Kid than half the shit that we see now.
So would I. What's the point you're trying to make?
I just don't like it.
You've gone way off course here.
I don't like the championship defended against people that don't deserve it. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, let me ask you this then. So we have MJF defending his title against Rouge.
I don't like it. We were going to talk about it later. Go ahead, mention it, because I heard what you had to say.
He's defending his title against Rouge tomorrow night, which is the entire reason that they did that four-way match on Dynamite last week that Rouge won.
The TBS Superstation Showdown, yes.
Sure. And apparently he's on a win streak. I think they mentioned that.
Against whom?
So at least, I don't know, but he's on a win streak. He's won like... half a dozen matches in a row or something?
I gotta look this up. I gotta see who Roosh.
Yeah, look it up. Look it up. I haven't seen all the matches on Collision that he's had, but apparently he's on a win streak. See when the last time was that he lost.
Oh God.
But they're doing that match tomorrow night. They actually teased 2 title matches. He's also going to be wrestling Mark Briscoe soon. I mean, I don't know. You think that's the Forbidden Door match? I don't know. But at least with Mark Briscoe, he legitimately has a pay-per-view victory last year over MJF. So you could argue, yeah, he's kind of got a legitimate argument to make.
That happened in September. What are you talking about? We're going into June.
Yeah, but MJF wasn't the champion in September. He's the champion now.
It's just
Mark Briscoe was out when MJF. Yes. To be fair, Mark Briscoe was out when MJF had the title in the early part of the year. I think they did an injury angle with him. So now MJF got the belt back, and now he wants his shot because he's got to win over the champion.
All right,
so at least there you can rationalize it.
Yeah, it's less offensive. I even said that with Jesse. Yes,
that's not even a pay-per-view match though. To me, I hope if they're going to do it, let him do it on like a fucking.
But the thing is, I would rather him wrestle Briscoe Forbidden Door than some nobody from New Japan though. That's my point.
Well, I mean, but it's the whole premise of the pay-per-view though.
Roosh has beaten Adam Priest, Stephen Fuerte, Manny Lowe, the legendary Manny Lowe, LSG, Ryan O'Neal, and TJ Crawford.
Well, there you go. Those are some tough competitors there that he steps into the ring with.
Oh my God, man!
He's padded his resume over the past 6 or 7.
All right, so your point was, and I heard what you had to say, and you're not wrong, but my point was, MJF just won the title back, and we just got 9 defenses in a row from Darby Allin. And now we're putting MJF in a match against somebody who clearly doesn't deserve it.
But he's not going to be defending the title every week.
I know, but so soon. That's the point. So soon after we just got 9 defenses.
I look at it also and go, okay, if we want to make these shows a little more exciting, I like the idea of MJF wrestling.
Sure.
Because the first time he was the champion, he wasn't doing a lot of wrestling on TV. So at least now we're getting him in action more. Maybe they don't have to all be title matches. And I don't think they all will be title matches because for a heel, that wouldn't even make any sense. But like they set up 2 challengers. I'm okay with that. If they start doing the Darby thing where he's defending it every week, he's defending it against fucking Ace Austin one week, and then he's defending it against this guy or Leo Rush. I like the gimmick, but he hasn't won anything recently. Then I'll have an issue with it. And it gives him title matches to promote with MJF in the main event on these Dynamite shows. Great. But I agree. Like, there has to be a limit to it because it's not a television title. Like the old WCW TV title where it was defended on television, 10-minute time limit. Like, that's not what this is supposed to be. So I agree with you on that. Him against Roosh, at least we know we're going to get a good match out of it.
Sure.
Roosh, they haven't done anything with, by the way.
No.
So at least now this will be his one big match, and then he'll probably be forgotten about again. And so I don't mind seeing that as a match, and then we'll see when they do the Briscoe match. I can't imagine they just run it the following. Maybe they will do it the following week. I don't know, but I don't need to see MJF doing the Darby Allin thing. That much I will say. That was a Darby thing. MJF should not be doing that.
No, I mean, we got 4 weeks till Forbidden Door. They should put more of a focus on who they're going to get MJF in the ring with at Forbidden Door instead of having him make these fucking pit stops against Roosh.
He can make a pit stop here and there.
How about a tag team match then? He's got no friends. He's got no friends. Okay, he's got no friends.
Yeah, nobody likes him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money. Throw some money at Don Callis. I don't know.
As far as I know, Roosh is a heel, and Roosh doesn't even like him.
Throw some money at Mark Davis. I'm sure he'll say yes. Team with Mark Davis. I don't know.
Why does he need to team with Mark Davis if they don't have enough members of the Don Callis family for Mark Davis to team with? His fucking partner just came back, by the way, Jake Doyle.
I saw that. Yes, I know.
It was kind of like he just showed up, like, oh, there he is. But he's back. He doesn't need to be teaming with MJF. MJF has no friends.
And we'll see this on
Sorry,
Wednesday.
MJ. No offense to MJF, but he has no friends.
I'm sure he's a pleasant guy. You know, he's got a lot of friends. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about AEW and where we're going there, but that really kind of fit into the overall discussion here about open challenges and Sol Ruka now defending the title on Monday, this coming Monday in Paris against Lyra Valkyrie, who asked for a title match. So that's that. So you're all right with Sol Ruka winning the title? Not too soon, huh? For her winning the IC title?
I mean, I would not have had her win it too soon, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world.
All right. From that, we got Tribal Combat. Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns. This was for the World's Heavyweight Championship. This went 28 minutes. This was the main event. No outside interference in this match whatsoever. But there was no countouts, no DQs, and the first pinfall or submission wins the match. I got to say, man, after the first 10 minutes, I wanted to fall asleep. I don't know what they did there. They were brawling in the crowd. They had Roman throw an ice bucket on top of Jacob Fatu. I needed that ice bucket to stay awake for the first 10 minutes here. I don't know what else he threw into the crowd. He threw some condiments or mustard into the crowd. I don't know what was going on there. But then it really started to pick up, and we got some really decent action here. I prefer the match at Backlash more than this. I didn't really care for any of this. And then at the end of it, we got Roman Reigns winning, and how he did that, he had the tongue and death grip applied on him by Fatu. Reigns broke free. Yeah.
The fatal, lethal tongue and death grip that Jacob Fatu, I will point out, still has yet to win a match with.
Yes. Yeah, but Roman had tried to injure the hand during the match with steel stairs and a toolbox. So he still did get it applied. It wasn't at full strength, though. Reigns sent Fatu headfirst into the turnbuckles, which he had previously removed, all but one. So that's how we won the Backlash match, and Jacob Fatu had a problem with that. So there was a table set up on the other side of the ring. He speared Jacob Fatu through the table. Fatu made it to his feet before Roman did, and Roman ran the ropes, hits the final spear, 1, 2, 3, and Roman wins. He defeats Jacob Fatu and retains the World Championship. That is the way the show ended. There was no fuckery or there was no closing angle.
No. That is not how the show ended. So Roman wins the match. Jacob Fatu has been beaten now 2 straight. All right, the wild man Samoan werewolf, as Michael Cole said, and I quote on commentary, the Samoan werewolf. The Samoan werewolf has been, I know, domesticated. And what was the other word that he used?
Neutered.
Yes. Neutered and domesticated.
Can you imagine?
By the tribal chief.
Can you imagine the words for Jacob Fatu used to describe him in WWE are those 2 words?
I mean, was that not a shoot?
No, it very much was.
Well, at least he was being honest. So he says this, and then Roman leaves, and Roman's all like smirking and talking all kinds of shit. The Usos show up. As he's exiting the ring, and then I think Jacob was getting out of the ring, they pan over to the crowd, and there are the fucking MFTs. And they show Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga. And Solo is just shaking his head like a disappointed dad at Jacob. And Roman's looking at Solo and them and telling the Usos, oh, they're next. They're next. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Jason's heart sank into his stomach at that point.
Are you kidding? Oh, I thought I was going to fucking crap it out. That's how far down it fell. And I'm like, this is just, this can't be real.
Oh, it's real. It's happening.
We cannot be teasing the possibility of another bloodline civil war after we just had this at War Games 2 years ago. And the MFTs have been, talk about being neutered. I mean, the MFTs have been neutered. That's how the show went off the air. With a tease of a match that who wants to see this? Is anybody excited at the prospect of Bloodline versus Bloodline with this particular crew that we have here?
Well, seeing that there's no other dominant faction in the WWE, you're looking at your War Games 2026 match in Survivor Series.
The MFTs don't even have enough people to field the War Games.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
Well, who's going to end up in there?
Royce Keys.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's a great spot for him.
You can call up Zilla Fatu. Maybe he joins the WWE before too long. I don't know. Not even Zilla can save this fucking feud. There's nothing that can save this feud. I don't know, man. That's the way the show went off the air. He also called out QB1 as he was walking up the aisleway. I don't know, man. I don't know where we go from here. Now
I had this feeling of deja vu when the show was over. I said I feel like we're on an infinite loop.
We're basically watching Family Guy reruns is what we're doing.
No, but Family Guy reruns were like funny and entertaining though. Like, you know what I mean? Like at least there's something to latch on to.
We're watching Friends reruns.
Well, I mean, that speak for yourself.
I hated Friends, man. Though that's a good comparison.
I never watched Friends. Apparently, you did, but I never.
How
did.
could you not? They're on fucking TBS at 10 o'clock every morning.
I don't like Friends. But anyway, so so that's how the show ended, and it just felt to me like, okay, we are now launching into, I guess, what, the NWO 2000 era of this story. Now we've moved on, because we're trying to recreate the OG bloodline and all that made that successful. And if you think about it, Roman Reigns is the same exact person now that he was 3 or 4 years ago. Like, that character. It's the same person. There's nothing different. There's no evolution. There's no change. The Usos have now regressed back to the exact role that they were in 3 or 4 years ago. Jey Uso, who was a world heavyweight champion, and I do recall there being a segment on Raw last year at some point with the Usos and Roman, and this is when Jey was angry at Roman, didn't want to have anything to do with him, and he said that this only works if we're equals. And so I'm looking at this, and I remember Roman, maybe about a month or two ago, told the Usos, like, I don't want you to serve me. I just want you to stand beside me. But I just keep thinking back to that segment from last year where Jey was just insistent that this only works if we're equals. And I don't know, does it really come off as if Roman sees him as an equal or treats him like an equal? I know he was telling Jey last night, like, go after the other belt, and you could take that one and I'll have this one. Like, he was saying that, but I don't know. The Usos just sort of falling in line in terms of character development. Does this not seem like 3 or 4 steps back from where they had been?
Well, yeah. I mean, I actually personally prefer them here like this instead of having Jey go out there and yeet every week. I mean, I'm glad we've done away with that.
Oh, sure. No, I'm not saying I want the yeet man back. I'm just saying, though, it just seems so lazy to me.
It is lazy. I do feel like they are equal for now. I do think that what you're saying may actually be the centerpiece of the storyline, because Roman's not going to be treating Jacob as an equal. And I think Jay's going to be upset because Roman did say that and he's going back on his word. So, still, that doesn't make for an interesting angle, or an angle I want to see play out over the next 12 months. And the whole reason, and this, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but the whole reason why the bloodline was even remotely successful was because we were in the pandemic era and they had nothing to do but tell us stories verbally. And then they had that great Jey Uso Roman Reigns story come out of that. And then after that, why was the bloodline taken into the next stratosphere? Sami Zayn. The whole genuine emotion of Sami Zayn being brought into the family dynamic, and then him stabbing Roman in the back because of how he was treated. They are never in 1,000 lifetimes going to be able to repeat that with Jacob Fatu. I mentioned Sami being similar to Jacob Fatu here and then running the same rerun back, but it's more like, Jason, Jacob Fatu is in the same role he was in when he was under Solo's thumb in the MFTs. And that's not a good rerun you want to run back. I don't know why they want to do that, but I mean, where does this go from here? Is this leading to Jacob building tension and then all of a sudden becoming a babyface and breaking free and breaking out on his own? Is that what we're going on?
Well, I mean, it should be. It should be building to Roman basically losing power and the Usos aligning with Jacob, and when Roman's ready to go away, they basically kick him to the curb and Jacob assumes that spot. That should be the idea. How long it'll take to get there, I guess we'll see. Look, my hope is this: Jacob Fatu is really good. I don't think they're intentionally burying him, but yes, he is now. They shoveled some dirt on him temporarily after what we saw over the past few weeks. You can't argue otherwise. I think they look at it as we have to break him down to build him back up. And as part of this story, in the end, it'll all be worth it, or it'll all make sense. And I certainly hope so for Jacob Fatu's sake, because he's in a worse position now than he was a month ago. So the question is, when we get the eventual payoff, will we look back at it and go, okay, in the end, it was worth it? Or would it have been better for them to go a different way with it? Because in the meantime, we're just getting what feels like more of the same. And is this going to make for really super interesting television week to week?
Well,
again, it It just feels like we've been down this road before.
Yes.
Some of the faces may have changed, but they're basically running the same playbook.
They are. And it's the bloodline fanatics. They're looking at us like, oh, these guys suck. What are they talking about? Just enjoy it for what it is. And it's like, you can't say anything bad about this storyline because they lose their minds. You talk about Jacob Fatu being broken down and built back up again. Now, I don't know in what way you mean that. Was this WWE basically telling everybody that the way that they built Jacob Fatu going up into WrestleMania with Cody and then with Drew was not working? That we need to build him back up again? Because he was kind of coming into his own. I mean, to me, I thought he was like partially a catchphrase merchant, but I hated that aspect of it. But was that Jacob Fatu not working for them, that they needed to break him down and build him back up again?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because that's kind of a WWE problem. And it's not just a Jacob Fatu thing, yada mean, and then, however many other catchphrases he has. Like, they do this with everybody, dude. Like, they're doing it right now with Trick Williams. How can you not say that he hasn't become a catchphrase merchant when he comes out?
Wow, right? What is overly egregious about him?
Well,
lemon pepper steppers?
Well, so let me talk to you. Or not let me talk. It's LA Night. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
The lemon pepper steppers. And then what's the other one? There's another one that he uses, but it's almost like he has to use it every single week. Like he has to say the 3 or 4 things that he says have to be hit every single week, which I don't think he has to. But that's a WWE thing. They want everybody to have their thing that they do every single week so they can market it and merchandise it and all that kind of stuff. So Jacob having that's not surprising. But what I mean is, I think in terms of the story, I think that's the idea that, okay, now he's at his lowest point, right? He's been beaten twice. He was forced to take a knee. He was forced to acknowledge Roman Reigns. He even said, the week before in the contract signing, he goes, if I lose, at least I know I still have a job. So his job now is to basically just stand in the background and put his finger in the air and do whatever Roman tells him to do. The idea is that they break him down with the idea that eventually, right, he'll sort of break out of this funk, and hopefully he'll end up in a better position than the one he was in before, where maybe he even gets Roman's spot. If Roman has to take time off and disappear again, maybe Jacob will end up in that position and he'll be the leader of the bloodline. And for his sake, I hope it works out that way. And I hope that when you get there, the fans are behind him and he's over in that spot. And the fans don't look at him now differently, where it's like, it's not the same now. Because he talked all that shit for an entire month, and he just lost 2 in a row. Like, that's tough, right? That's a tough spot to be in. I just hope in the end it all works out. It's all family here, so I'm sure Roman and all them, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that Jacob comes out of this looking good, but how long it's going to take, and is it going to be interesting? Can they find a way to make the bloodline stuff super interesting again like it used to be? I hope so, because we're the ones watching these shows every week. I sure hope so, because like you said, Sammy's not there anymore. Who's going to fill that void? Maybe they could just put Sammy back in there. Maybe it'd just be like Sammy will show up one week. Hey guys, I kind of joked last night at the end of my Raw review. I said, man, Paul Heyman got speared through the barricades. They took him off TV, it seems like, for a while. Wouldn't it be something if the next time he shows up, he's not even with the Vision anymore? He's like begging Roman for a job to let him back into the bloodline, and then they could get the whole crew back together, like old times. It's like, would I even be shocked by that at this point? No, I wouldn't be. I really wouldn't be. And look, to be fair, if you're Paul Heyman, given the state of the Vision, would you blame him?
No.
If he wanted to go running back to Roman in the bloodline, I wouldn't blame him.
How long do you see this going on for? Do you see this going all the way through WrestleMania next year? No, with Jacob Fatu. Because I have to mention it. I have to mention it, and I know you're going to give me the eyes. I know. Is this potentially leading to Rock and Roman at Mania next year?
Potentially. Everything is built around the idea that maybe they could do that match.
And Jacob Fatu is appointed as the new tribal chief by Rock? I don't know.
I don't know about that, but look, I'm not sure. I mean, Roman said, you got me through the summer. If Roman goes away again after SummerSlam, and that doesn't mean, by the way, he's going to lose the title. But if he's going to go away and we're not going to see him as much on television after SummerSlam, I think it would be important to get Jacob into a spot like that then and not wait until next year. So who's to say that in, I don't know, the next four months, right, something doesn't happen? I hope it's not going to take a year. I sure hope not. And how is it going to play out? Is Jacob going to talk to the Usos but talk to them in such a way where he's trying to tell them, like, you know, you let him treat you like that? Like, but again, we saw this previously. This is like what Sammy was doing. So I don't know if they're going to do that again or how Jacob eventually gets out of this and gets back to kind of like or gets into a top tier position. I just hope whatever they do, they can make it as interesting as they made the Bloodline 3 or 4 years ago. That's my hope. That's my hope, because the Bloodline stuff back then was great until they just jumped the shark with it and it just went on for far too long. And I'm just like watching this. I'm like, we're back to this now. They better have a damn good idea for where they're going to take this.
Well, it was all those years ago. Paul Heyman says, "Oh, we're only in the third inning. We've been in the third inning now for like 3 years."
I think we're in like probably the top of the fifth.
Oh, are we?
I don't know. Maybe not. No, this game might be going into extra innings, so don't forget that.
Can we call for a rain delay?
Yeah, the issue also I had with the MFTs, for example, they never bothered to develop those characters the way they did with the OG Bloodline. Like every character in the OG Bloodline, except maybe Solo, who is just silent, but like Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Sammy, they took the time to really develop and flesh out their personalities, and they all kind of had their own stories and agendas. When have they ever done that with the MFTs?
Never.
Never. Jeff Cobb worked there for a year. I think he spoke twice.
If that, maybe.
Tala Tonga, I've heard his voice once in a backstage segment a few weeks ago when he yelled at Shinsuke Nakamura and then chokeslammed him through a table.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about these fucking people. And then you got Solo in his suit. He's standing there like the fucking gold chain and everything, trying to act all cool and tough. Like he's, again, that's why I say Timu Roman. Wish Roman. Like he's cosplaying as Roman Reigns. There's nothing about Solo Sikoa that screams leader of a faction. He's miscast. That's not the role for him. So everything about the MFTs has been a complete and total failure, and it's fucking boring because they half-assed it. They never bothered to put the same level of effort into it because it wasn't a priority, right? It's not Roman. It's not the Bloodline. So we'll do like an offshoot of the Bloodline. It's like one of these terrible NWO splinter factions that we got, you know, that kind of died out real quick. That's why when I saw the end of that fucking show on Sunday, I'm like, you cannot expect me to get excited for the prospects of the MFTs being involved in anything, any sort of top angle on this show.
Well,
it's unacceptable.
Well, with what we saw, now we are to believe that the next progression of this angle is Solo trying to convince Jacob Fatu that he is better suited for the MFTs and not with the Bloodline.
Great.
And that's the only thing that I can think of, right? I mean, where else do they go? There's no other faction for them to feud with. There's no other feuds that they're currently involved in. I don't even think Roman's going to be defending his title at Night of Champions. So what are we going to do? Who does Jacob Fatu go out there and physically feud with? Tala Tonga?
Solo Sikoa.
Oh, my God, man. Oh, thank God SmackDown's going back to 2 hours and 4 weeks.
LA Knight's been talking a lot of shit about the Bloodline and everything. Maybe Roman says, I'm tired of hearing this guy. Jacob, go take care of him.
So we're going to run a fucking feud back that we saw 2 WrestleManias ago for the United States title?
We're running a fucking angle and a faction back that we saw for fucking 5 straight years. Yes, they will. They'll run a fucking match back from 2 years ago.
Oh, my God, man. This is fucking terrible.
It's what they do. It's like Triple H says in that fucking meme or whatever. It's what we do.
It's what we do.
It's what we do.
Did you enjoy the show? It's all part of the show, man.
Just shut up and enjoy it.
Oh, my God. That's the way Monday Night Raw kicked off. He acknowledged the tribal chief, and he got down on one knee, and Roman told him, you might not understand this now, but I love you, Jacob. How long before he starts yelling, I love you, Roman? We're going to put that in there, too? LA Knight brought back Usi. We haven't heard Usi in years. He's like, you getting down to be Uzi now to Adam Pearce? Like,
I mean, LA Knight, he can't escape it, man. When he was on SmackDown, I was begging them to move him to Raw to get him away from the MFT vortex. So they moved him to Raw, and now the Bloodline is reformed. And so he's bitching to Adam Pearce about the Bloodline. He can't get away from it.
It's ridiculous. And there was a news report today put out by The Observer. Please take this with a grain of salt. And just as a warning, nobody knows what's coming. Nobody. Plans for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 43. His opponent, and apparently a backup plan, has allegedly been thrown around. While not confirmed or official, the fine fellows over at Selfmade Pro with Ibu reported that WWE is planning a feud between Roman Reigns and Obafemi for WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia. I doubt Ibu knows this information, but this is what he said. It's been reported that WWE is considering either Seth Rollins or Obafemi as Reigns' opponent for SummerSlam, with the other potentially being saved for WrestleMania. There's no confirmation on the matter. These are possible scenarios being discussed if The Rock is unable to make an appearance at WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. Now, I guess, yeah, Jason, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, if we were to sit here and outline all of the potential matches should Rock not be available next year, but these are the names that we would be talking about anyway.
I know.
Roman and Seth,
Yes.
Roman and Oba. At one point, I would have said Roman and Braun Breaker, but that doesn't seem very likely right now. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of like, I mean, to me, it's just kind of obvious that those would be the potential title matches next year, but nobody knows. WWE doesn't know. Dude, they posted the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring brackets.
I saw this, yeah.
And then yesterday, I'm getting ready to like watch Raw in the middle of the fucking day. And I got Mike Johnson of PW Insider posting, and then it's all over social media, this new bracket. And I see Sami Zayn is in the King of the Ring now, and Drew McIntyre is in the King of the Ring now. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. Boy, I guess they changed their minds. And then they pulled it from WWE.com. And then on Raw last night, they aired the original bracket. But it came from WWE. This was not something that somebody mocked up and it spread on social media. I'm telling you, like, one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. They had Joe Tessitore on the fucking post show on Sunday. He thought that Obafemi was wrestling Penta in a singles match.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yes, that's what I thought too. But you and I were not on their fucking broadcast talking about it.
I was like, oh man, we're getting Seth Rollins and Javon Evans, man. That's a great match.
Actually, my first thought was, why the fuck are they doing Penta and Obafemi? Why would you even do that?
And then we quickly realized what was going on.
Yes, but like Joe Tessitore was talking about it on their own show as if they were having a singles match. They don't know what they're doing, dude. Like, you think they really have their plans shored up for where the fuck they're going at SummerSlam, let alone WrestleMania next year?
No, they don't know what the fuck they're doing going into the next PLE. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, so that's coming from Ibu of Selfmade. Again, like Jason said, 100%. These are the names we would be talking about anyway if The Rock is not going to be there. So this is a natural transition into the first King of the Ring quarterfinal match here, which, by the way, Triple H has laid out in 4 ways in the first round. And the only reason why he's done this is because he legitimately has no TV time for a full-fledged one-on-one tournament. Now, I probably, if he had enough time, he'd still do the Fatal 4-Ways because he loves his multi-person matches in these tournaments for whatever reason. But we're going right into Night of Champions, which is only 4 weeks, and then right into Madison Square Garden for Saturday night's main event, and then literally 2 weeks after that, we're going into SummerSlam. So there's just a bunch of shows bunched together, and there's not enough time for anything to breathe. So that's why they're trying to rush through this tournament to get the finals in Saudi. So the match that he put on last night was Penta, Obafemi, Solo Sikoa, and Carmelo Hayes. Now, granted, I'm not a fan of the Fatal 4-Way. I'm assuming you're not a fan of the Fatal 4-Way concept for these tournaments either?
I would rather it just be singles matches.
Me too. It just feels more important that way, but the emphasis on winning and losing, it's like pulling teeth to get a fucking major name to lose in these tournaments. Tony Khan does it too. He puts just very predictable matches out there. Regardless, this was fun. For 9 minutes, this was fun. I enjoyed myself with this, and Obafemi ended up winning. He took some offense, which was nice, a little bit more humanizing of Obafemi. Solo got some offense on him. Carmelo got some offense on him. He ended up winning. It was a great spot where he just went crazy on the outside, back in the ring. He did what he had to do against Solo, pin Solo. So Oba's in the second round now, Jason. And we're looking at, and I got this pulled up here. I got the graphics pulled up on my OBS, as you guys can see there. I've been showing this on my streams as well. The second round is now Oba's. His opponent is either Dominic Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, or Damian Priest. Now, you look at that match, Jason, and you say, well, Damian Priest is a good chance because he's a beatable guy for Oba, but it also doesn't make a very unpredictable match. I know. Let me finish. Let me explain myself. Damian Priest, he's a guy that matches up to Oba size-wise, easy to beat, but Oba's not going to the finals. Okay, so Trick Williams is the United States champion. You don't want to beat him, and you don't want Trick Williams to hand Oba another loss. That's just ridiculous. Dominic Mysterio, nobody wants to see that. Way too easy, way too predictable. So we're looking at Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker is the guy that stands out here. Now, apparently there was a fan-recorded footage of Braun Breaker at the hotel room in Italy, and apparently he was limping very badly. Now, according to people that, I think it was False Finish who reported this before we went live, Braun Breaker is banged up. It's not going to be detrimental to what he does next. He's going to be able to make his next appearances. So I know that looked bad, but he is supposed to be in this second round, in this first round match.
He's a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
He'll tape it up, and he'll be back out there.
So if we go with Oba and Braun, not only is that a future WrestleMania main event, we're getting this early. I would say with Braun Breaker losing to Seth Rollins in the main event on Monday night last night, that him getting a win in this match is a good way to get him back on track, and he wrestles Oba Femi in the second round. Now, going back to what we talked about with Brock Lesnar and Brock Lesnar beating Oba, it would have made a lot more sense if this is the current direction for Brock Lesnar to lose to Oba. So if Brock was to actually interfere in this match, which we both are predicting happens, it would make more sense for Brock to cost Oba. Now that Brock beat Oba at Clash in Italy, what would possess him to come out and screw Oba in this match, Jason, if our theory here is correct and Oba's going to lose to Braun Breaker and it's going to be because of Brock Lesnar?
Just for shits and giggles.
Because he does whatever he wants.
Because he can. They don't even have to explain it. I mean, they had the chance to do it the other way, and they opted not to. So they had Oba cut a promo on him last night that wasn't terribly inflammatory. He just pointed out that, you told me, how would I be able to withstand the beast? And I'm still here standing, and I have one, you have one, and you and I are going to meet down the road. So he didn't say anything terribly out of pocket. Brock did win the match. I guess Brock would just do it for shits and giggles, I guess. Fuck if I know. Boy, it would have made a lot more sense, though, had he lost that match on Sunday, and he would have been incensed.
Sure. Looking
for revenge. And how better to get revenge than to cost this man the opportunity to challenge for the world championship at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I mean, that speaks for itself. Maybe they'll use the Paul Heyman aspect where he got kind of barricaded, the spear through the barricade. He's going to be out, you would think, for a couple of weeks, several weeks. Maybe Heyman's not going to be there in Braun Breaker's corner. Maybe he calls in a favor because he can't be there, and that favor is Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar is the assist that Braun Breaker needs. I don't know. I'm sticking with that, and I'm going Breaker in the finals. And if you guys see the other side of the bracket, which is clear as day, you got Rollins, Evans, Tonga Tonga, which is confirmed. They announced this on the show last night. So whatever Jason mentioned before about Sami Zayn being in this spot, he's not in this match. Tonga Tonga. Oh, yes, that is correct. I'm still waiting on an explanation. That's never going to come. Yeah. Actually, I don't have you queued up here. Let me go back to this here. Nobody, like a fucking dumbass, I'm a fucking new streamer here. Nobody heard Jason say anything there. So I don't have your audio source in that graphic. Sorry, newbie streamer over here. Seth Rollins, Jason, is going to win that quarterfinal match, and then I'm assuming the opponent for Seth Rollins will be LA Knight. I'm assuming LA Knight's going to advance because he has to. I don't know why they would feature him the way that he has, and then he's had that interaction with Seth Rollins a couple weeks ago, and not feature him in the semifinals.
Jey Uso's going to win.
You think Jay and Seth Rollins are going to be the semifinal match?
Sure. Dude, Roman told Jay on the show last night, like, you got to win King of the Ring. Like, that, there's another belt. That belt needs to belong to you. You don't think he's going to at least not make it into the semifinals? You think he's going to get bounced in the opening round?
Man, I must be delusional or just really feeling bad for LA Knight here, man. I don't know. He's going to lose because of how? Just because?
Because he's not Samoan. It's pretty simple.
Really. LA Knight. They're not even going to tease LA Knight fans anymore with a King of the Ring. Just bounce him out in the first round.
In fact, LA Knight may well be the one to take the losing fall in that match. I mean, Finn Balor is in there. So, I mean, with old Pin in there, I mean, you can never be sure. But, I mean, think about it. If Jey Uso is going to win, they're not going to pin Royce Keys, right? It would either be LA Knight or Finn Balor taking the losing fall. I don't know why you assume that LA Knight is going to win anything.
I don't know. I was hoping that LA Knight might advance. You may be correct. I don't know. Seth Rollins going to the finals. I think it's pretty safe to say that Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker is a very feasible final for the King of the Ring. I've been saying this myself. I think they will do Rollins and Reigns at SummerSlam. And I think the report with what Ibu said, that if Oba gets Roman at Mania, that the other guy's going to get Roman at SummerSlam. In this case, it would be Seth. So it may actually end up happening. We don't really know for sure, but as far as the short-term future, Jason, it's going to be Rollins and Reigns, in my opinion, at SummerSlam.
That's great. So we just beat Braun Breaker last night, and let's run it back again in the finals and beat him again.
Well, he's a tag team specialist now, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, that's right. He's got the tag team title. He knocked himself out with it last night too. That's how he lost.
He did.
Yeah.
So that's the King of the Ring stuff there, and the plan for SummerSlam. That's the way I see it playing out. Now, I do have a theory about this Oba and Lesnar situation, and we talked about Brock beating Oba at Clash in Italy. We theorized that Brock is going to come and screw Oba out of his semifinal match against Braun Breaker. Where does this third match take place? Because we do have Night of Champions. I don't think it happens there. We have Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden. I don't think it happens there. I think we wait till SummerSlam because it's in Minneapolis and they put a really big aspect on Minneapolis. But it's a long time in between that third match. So how do we get there? What's the bridge there?
Yeah, well, but so what though? I mean, it's Brock. Like, Brock routinely disappears and then reappears after a certain period of time. So when, like, to me, it's the beginning of August too. It's not like it's the end of the month.
Yeah,
literally the first 2 days of August is SummerSlam. So it's not that big of a leap. I mean, it's already the beginning of June. It's only 2 months away. So it's not that big of a leap to think that they would wait until SummerSlam to do the match. And, in the meantime, if they want to put somebody else in there with Oba, maybe in a Saturday night's main event match, like a warm-up type match or whatever, that's fine. But it's not that big of a leap to think that they would hold off until SummerSlam, because Brock is going to be at SummerSlam. Like, they're not going to not have him on a 2-night SummerSlam in Minneapolis. They don't have enough time to set him up for anybody else. The only opponent that even makes sense for him for that show would be the guy that he's been feuding with since WrestleMania.
Yeah, there is a report that Lesnar is going to have more dates following Clash in Italy. He will be featured. This is according to, let's see, per the report, this is Brock Lesnar's Clash in WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes reported that Lesnar will have more dates following Clash in Italy, so he will be kind of hanging around television. Let me know what you think of this. I pitched this last night, and I did this as well on Sunday when I covered Clash in Italy. If Lesnar does cost Oba this match against Braun Breaker, and our theory is correct, and they want to do something in the interim before we get to SummerSlam, what about doing, for a big Madison Square Garden main event, we do Brock teaming with Braun, Heyman will be back by that point, against Rollins and Oba in the main event? You don't like that?
I don't see him doing it.
No?
No. When have they ever used Brock in that way? I mean, him being in War Games was very weird, because we've never seen him team with anybody in the last, like, fucking, I don't know, 15 years. I can't imagine them just putting Brock Lesnar in a tag team match. It's just that it doesn't feel like something they would do.
I was trying to come up to think about how we get from where we got in Italy.
They're
to
very,
SummerSlam.
very cautious with his dates in terms of the actual matches they put him in. I don't see them doing it. I can't imagine them doing that.
All right, we'll see. That's what I had thrown out there. What we do with Oba in the meantime after this semifinal match and what we are thinking plays out. I mean, I don't know. It's up to WWE. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, and we'll see. As far as the King and Queen of the Ring, I mean, it appears that they have introduced a little wrinkle into it that we haven't seen before, which is that the winner can choose the champion they want to face.
I was told that it was brand specific.
That's what it's always been, but you had Roman telling Jay, like, look, there's another belt. Go after that belt, win King of the Ring.
Yeah.
They're on different brands. So, I mean, unless Roman doesn't know the rules of the fucking tournament, it would seem to me like they... Again, maybe Roman's got the power to change the rules. So maybe he's changed the rules himself. It only applies to the members of the bloodline.
Well,
I don't know.
Then if that's the case, then my whole opinion on the women's tournament changes completely.
I'm just saying, based on that one segment last night, it appears that may be a change this year. They haven't said that on commentary, but Roman, I mean, he made it very clear.
We'll see. If Rollins wins, he's going after Roman anyway, so it'll still end up being brand specific. But I hope that they did make that small change. That's a nice change, and it should be. If you win the Rumble, you can challenge for a championship. I don't know why it would be different here, especially if both brands are in there.
And I think it's that way now with Money in the Bank too.
Yeah. So I don't know why the King of the Ring would be different. Just a small note here: Balor is in the tournament. If you guys noticed on the graphic I pulled up earlier, there is a blue ring around him and his graphic. A lot of people were causing ruckus on social media. Why is he on SmackDown? When did this happen? Apparently, we got confirmation last night, and he is now supposedly traded to SmackDown. We don't know in what capacity the trade is. We don't know who he was traded for. I mentioned if they traded him to Raw, I don't know if they're actually going to do this. I would keep Julia on Monday, and I would just flat out just trade Finn Balor for Julia. I thought she looked good on Monday.
Wait, that's not exactly an even trade. I mean, not that Balor is like this big push guy, but I don't think they see Julia as being anybody important enough to kind of include her in a trade like that for a named person on the roster. I just looked at it as Jacob Fatu sort of quietly went from SmackDown to Raw. It could be as simple as Fatu's on Raw now and Balor's going to SmackDown. We also don't know if Drew McIntyre is going to still be on SmackDown when he comes back. He may move to Raw. And we don't know where CM Punk's going to be. We know where he's been now. He's been in the fucking gym, apparently. But we don't know what brand he'll end up on. Probably, I would think SmackDown would be the best place for him.
Has to be.
Got to get him away from Roman, right?
Yeah.
Remember what he told Cody?
Yeah, championship opportunities fall out of the sky.
Fall out of the sky.
Yep.
What did that mean?
I don't know. What did it mean to you? I figured Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But it sounded like to me.
I don't know. He's looking WrestleMania-esque already in the month of June. We'll see what happens.
You got to be careful, though. Like, the guy's 47, 48 years old and with a history of injury issues. And if he's putting on a lot of muscle like that, I don't know. Like, is that a good idea?
No, I legitimately had the same thought when I saw his picture today. A possible tear of the tricep is possible, you know?
Yeah, a tear of something. Yes, so you got to be careful. You got to be very careful.
I just want him back on television, but apparently the creative geniuses over there can't figure out a way to get him back on television, which says a lot about this administration. Sol Ruka celebrated her women's Intercontinental title victory. She's putting the belt on the line in Paris next week against Lyra Valkyria. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee had a very fun tag team match against Ethan Page and Rusev. They got
I love this. I love the schedule, by the way, that we have. Are you aware of the remaining schedule for the European tour?
No, all I know is Paris next Monday, which I know we'll be watching.
Yes,
yeah.
we are in Paris, France. So I believe it's another 2 p.m. Eastern start, I believe, for Raw next week.
Yes.
So then after Paris, they're in Baltimore. And then after Baltimore, they're in London.
Who made that schedule?
I don't know, but somehow Baltimore ended up in the... We went from Turin to Paris to Baltimore to London. Who made this schedule?
You know, Mark Shapiro did mention that they use AI to come up with the tour schedules, and it makes life a lot easier for the people in charge there.
Well,
maybe they didn't up their subscription fee for ChatGPT. I don't know what happened there.
Is there a country that sounds like Baltimore that maybe it mistook for something else and it ended up being Baltimore? I don't know, but it's quite the detour.
Where are they this Friday?
They're in Italy. They're in Bologna.
Oh, man.
I'm talking. This is just Raw that I'm talking about. So the next few weeks of Raw. Yeah, Raw is in Paris and then Baltimore and then London. I don't know where SmackDown is, but SmackDown this Friday is in Italy still.
You see, I don't know how other people feel. I don't mind watching Raw at 2 p.m. I will not watch SmackDown at 2 p.m.
No?
No. I don't know what.
Free up your Friday nights?
Well, I mean, I freed up my Monday and I fell asleep at 1 o'clock, which normally is 4 a.m. I don't know if I have it in me, man, to watch SmackDown at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for 3 hours.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is tough. I don't know. I might have to man it up because a free Friday night, getting done by 7:30, 8 o'clock, and just having that night free to do nothing. I don't know. I'll see. That's why I guess we saw, what's his name, Matt Cardona having lobster for breakfast this morning on Instagram. That's what I saw.
Living the life, man.
Anyway,
lobster for breakfast.
Yeah, he's still in Italy. So now I know why. They're in Bologna. Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee beat Rusev and Ethan Page. Very fun there. Penta is getting his match with Rey Mysterio. I'm assuming Adam Pearce is going to set that up for Night of Champions. It's the only place that makes sense. Queen of the Ring. We got another fatal four-way here. This was Io, Roxanne, Julia, and Lash Legend. Now, I have the graphic here. Let me sure Jason's audio's coming in here. So I want to add him. Hold on. Yeah, say something. Actually, wait a minute. No, I don't have you added. Hold on. Audio output. There you are. Okay. Now, Jason. Now you can hear Jason. Okay.
Finally, I'm no longer silenced.
No. There you go. You see the graphic there. We had this match with Roxanne, Io, Julia, and Lash. Obviously, Io won. She's in the semifinals. We will stay on the right side. We got Bayley, Raquel, JC Jane, and Kiana James, Jason. I think I know who you're going with. I went with JC. Are you feeling the same there?
I would like for it to be JC. I mean, I wouldn't hate it if it was Kiana, but I tend to lean towards JC in that match.
Okay. So we're going to go JC Jane.
Yeah, because look, I mean, you're looking at this bracket. To me, like Io and Bayley, it's been done.
Yeah.
Don't want to see it. Raquel and Io, we did that earlier this year. So for me, take one of the newer women and move them to the semifinals.
I like it. JC Jane and Io sounds like a decent match to me. That's what I'm going with there. On the left side, we have Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and Chelsea Green. Now, there was some commotion about why Liv Morgan was added to this tournament. She is the WWE Women's World Champion. Her excuse was that she wants to win it all and have both championships. So I don't know if that really is going to fly with a lot of people. This tournament was put together because they needed a way to find the world champions an opponent for SummerSlam, and she's one of them. So I don't know why she's in there. As a champion, it doesn't even make sense why you would even want to compete in a tournament like this if you are already the world champion.
Well, she wants it all, JD.
I guess.
Well, especially now, if they have changed the rules, she could technically now challenge Rhea Ripley for her championship at SummerSlam.
Sure.
But I mean, look, she's not winning, and it's a waste of a spot. And I just was wondering, like, you couldn't find a spot in this. Look at all the women on the screen right now. You couldn't find a spot in this for Jordan Grace.
Well, yeah, sure. I even mentioned, what about someone in NXT, like a Lola Vice or somebody?
Forget NXT.
Kendall Gray.
Jordan Grace is on the roster right now.
I know.
You don't even need to look to NXT. Jordan Grace just wrestled Kiana James in the main event taping in Barcelona last Friday. So I know she's not fucking hurt. Why is she not in this thing?
I don't know. Did they give up on her? They must have.
I mean, seems like it.
You would think she was tailor-made with the way she's built for this fucking company. I don't know.
Well, she's been keeping busy because I saw she got her pilot's license recently.
Well, she's already making plans. Yes. she's already going to plan B to fly away when she can, legitimately.
Either that or that's going to be her next role in WWE. She's going to be flying them around on these tours instead of wrestling.
Have we ever had an aviation gimmick or a pilot gimmick?
No, I don't think so. I think that's one that Vince never thought of.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He never thought of the pilot. No.
Wow. All right, so I think we're both on the same page here. You think Stephanie Vaquer shows face next week and costs Liv Morgan this match, ultimately giving Becky Lynch the win to the semifinals?
I think that she's going to cost Liv Morgan the match and going to give Alexa Bliss the win into the semifinals.
Really? You're going Alexa. I'm going Becky. Okay. So I'm assuming that in the next match, Sol Ruka, Lyra Valkyria, Charlotte Flair, and Jade Cargill, you're going Charlotte Flair.
Yes, I am.
So you're going Charlotte and Alexa.
Yes.
Okay, I could see that. That's definitely an option. I prefer the rekindling of Becky and Charlotte. That's just me. I think you can get to where you want to go with Bliss without actually putting her in a match with Charlotte. But I think we're both on the same page with Charlotte going to the finals. So I think Charlotte will be in the finals as well. Who goes to the finals on the other side? Io, I'm assuming, right?
I think Io, yeah. And it's interesting because if you look at that, if we have a Charlotte Io final,
yeah,
you can go a few different ways with it. Like Charlotte doesn't have to win Queen of the Ring to still get a title match at SummerSlam, but it would be the easiest path to get her to Rhea Ripley. So that's kind of a gimme.
Yeah.
If Io was to win, Io could then challenge Liv Morgan at theoretically, I guess she could always pick Rhea, but why would she do that? But let's say she picks Liv, it's Io and Liv. Like if Io wins the championship at SummerSlam and they do Crown Jewel later this year, we could get Rhea and Io in a Crown Jewel match without either one of their titles on the line, and Rhea could get her big win finally over Io.
Yes, that's what I said last night. We'd be looking at, theoretically, if things stay the same right now, Rhea, Io, Roman, and Cody for Crown Jewel.
Well, I mean, look, those would be two big matches for them to do.
So my it would be. So my next question to you is, Io and Rhea here for SummerSlam is out of the question. You don't think they do it?
You mean Rhea and Io? No, yeah, I don't see them doing Rhea and Io.
All right, what's the best course of action here, in your opinion? You have Charlotte win to go after Rhea, or do you have Io win to go after Liv Morgan? Because you could, like you said, you could get to Charlotte and Rhea without this tournament.
Yeah, I think the way to go would be to have Io win.
Okay,
I like that.
Well, Stephanie's out of the fucking picture, man. She's out in the cold. What do they do with her?
It could end up being a triple threat.
Could be.
Stephanie, Io, and Liv.
Yeah. I think Io makes the most sense here, because if that's the case, yeah, it's very funny. They got some options. What do you do with Jade at SummerSlam then? Because you figure Jade versus Charlotte would be a great SummerSlam match, no?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be at SummerSlam. You got a Saturday night's main event coming up at MSG, so that's a possibility. Even Night of Champions on the undercard, they may do that match there. But the Charlotte would have to be bounced already from the tournament because the finals are happening there. I just mentioned the possibility of a triple threat on the other side, but maybe it goes the other way. Maybe it ends up being Rhea, Charlotte, and Jade in a three-way.
Yeah, I'm kind of over Jade in the.
I'm over the whole Jade in the title picture thing to begin with, so I don't think she needs to be involved at all. And then she probably doesn't have any match at SummerSlam. I'm just saying it might make a little more sense if the triple threat, if there was going to be one, was on the SmackDown side, because all three of those women have had issues with each other.
Yeah, which would make Io winning the tournament a lot more kind of the right way to go. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna stick to what I said last night. I think Io winning the tournament makes the most sense. Liv needs some competition. So I think that's the right way to go. And SmackDown's so stacked right now that they could really make, Charlotte and Jade challenge for the championship without the need for this tournament. So I like that. So that's the King and Queen of the Ring. Finals will take place at Night of Champions at the end of June. And then the main event for this show was Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins. This was a very good match. They went 22 minutes. This was much better, in my opinion, than their Backlash match. You can kind of get a sense that they're working very well together. The Backlash match was a little choppy, but I thought what they did here last night was really good. Heyman went through the barricade. We got Montez Ford out there to help Rollins, so their beef has now at least momentarily been squashed. And Rollins had already made mention that he wanted the World Championship. He made the belt motion around his waist at the end of this match, so he's got his eye on Roman Reigns. I think he even threw the ones up at the end of the show, too. So what'd you think of this, Jason? I know we talked about the King of the Ring, that Braun beats Rollins at Backlash. Rollins got his win back here. Does it really hurt Braun that badly if he loses to Seth again, if what we talked about earlier is the final of the King of the Ring?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just hard to stomach because if it works out that way, and we don't know that it will, but if it works out that way, we're coming off Gunther losing to Cody, and we know that that's hopefully building, we assume, to a rematch at Night of Champions. We're coming off a show where Gunther lost, Oba lost, Braun lost last night. And now we're talking about the possibility of him losing again, the rubber match in the finals. It just gets to a point.
It's a great way to invest in your future, huh?
And I didn't even mention Jacob.
Yeah.
Who I think will be okay at the end of all this. But for the time being, Oba, Jacob, Braun, what are we doing here? All of these things happening at the same time. It just doesn't inspire a lot of confidence.
No, not at all. But that was Monday Night Raw. And we now look forward to next week where we have more King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, and we will see how everything progresses going into the Night of Champions. But SmackDown is coming up on Friday. We still have just a few more weeks at 3 hours, but there is news on when SmackDown is going back to 2 hours. And apparently this is coming from The Observer. We have 3 hours running up until June 26th. It comes to an end. They go back to 2 hours.
A few more weeks of this. So is that the last 3 hour show or the first 2 hours?
It says here from The Observer, WWE SmackDown 3 hour run comes to an end on June 26th. So I'm assuming that Friday, it will be 2 hours.
Let us hope.
Let us hope, yes. So that's the news there. We talked about Finn Balor being traded to SmackDown. We talked about Roman Reigns and the reported plans. We have just some AEW stuff to get through, but there's a couple of minor news and notes here I want to bang out. I saved this one because I thought this would be funny. I wanted to see this guy's reaction. Apparently, Jason, Nikki Bella pitched some WWE comedy segments for Clash in Italy. Did you see this story?
I heard there was something that was pitched, but she would interview people in a TV show kind of fashion.
Is that
the gist of it?
She has pitched
Ciao
creative. Bella? Yeah. She has pitched creative that she developed for the Clash in Italy. She says, and I quote, I at first thought I was going to be at Clash in Italy, obviously not performing, but I pitched this incredible idea called Ciao Bella. I was like, hey guys, I would love to do this, whether it's pre-show or we do those fun promo commercial things for the PLE, just make it social, whatever. So she says, I'd have these different moments with WWE superstars. So there would be a moment where I'm on the Italian scooter with Danhausen and his scarf is flying in my face. And then it cuts to having a moment with Brie and Paige having an Aperol Spritz with the tag team champions. And then I'm on a gondola ride with Gunther and he's just staring straight being Gunther. And then the gondolier is another WWE superstar that's either giving me the looks or he's someone that hates Gunther. And then I have this.
I got to stop you there. This sounds like she had a very vivid dream and just woke up and just wrote it all down. What is the point of this? I guess is my question.
It gets better though. Listen. And then I have this other moment where Oba and I are getting gelato and trying to attempt a selfie with him, and obviously the height difference. And then the Judgment Day comes and slaps our gelato out of our hands. And this is my ending segment. I'm walking down the street and they keep going, Ciao Bella, because they do that in Italy. And then I take a pause and I go, oh my God, I'm so famous here. But obviously it's because they call everyone Bella. But I think it's because I'm Nikki Bella. So it was cute and they all loved it, but then it eventually fell through.
No, I'm going to break it to you. They didn't love it. They didn't love it. They indulged you and pretended that they did. And then obviously she never got that call back because we did not get Ciao Bella. This all sounds like, forget the dream. This sounds like an acid trip is what this sounds like. How much wine has she been drinking in her absence here as she recovers?
Well, don't they have a winery? Don't they have their own wine?
I mean, something in Napa Valley, I think, right? They have.
I mean, why not? I mean, that's
gelato with Oba Femi.
Sounds like a good deal, huh?
Oh, sure, yeah. To go from losing to Brock Lesnar to having gelato with Nikki Bella. That sounds great.
Yeah, thank God we didn't get that. We got enough problems as it is, man. So we definitely were saved with that one. I had people reach out to me in regards to this, and they were like, man, I don't believe you didn't talk about this with Jason last week on TNT. I'm like, all right, I'll briefly mention it here. What did this sounds ridiculous, man. I don't know if you talked about this on your end. I didn't listen to your show. have you talked about this NWO revival in the pandemic era back in 2020?
I talked about it on Uncrowned today. I did mention it.
Let's listen to this. Apparently, there was a WWE writer that came out and unveiled plans, supposedly, that fell through. Do you guys remember the Thunderdome? Really tough TV to do there. So a lot of ideas were thrown against the wall. It was discussed at one point, bringing back the NWO in 2020. This is former WWE writer Chris Dunn who says this. He said this on the Public Enemies podcast. The pitch was for Sheamus, Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Lars Sullivan to be a part of the new NWO. He says it was really close to happening. I forget which legendary NWO member was supposed to fly into Orlando to introduce this new
Horace Hogan was going to fly into Orlando to introduce this shit.
But essentially, they landed and they didn't pass a COVID test. That's why they didn't show up.
They didn't pass. They intentionally infected themselves with COVID once they found out what the idea was, so they could get out of doing it. And then all of a sudden, Ciao Bella doesn't sound like such a terrible idea.
No, apparently Eric Bischoff shut this down. He says it could just be silly internet stupid shit. He says publicly that Bischoff now publicly pushed back on the story. Sean Waltman reached out to me and said, "Hey, did you ever hear anything about this? I never heard anything about that, and neither did Kevin Nash." So the three surviving members of the NWO knew nothing about it. It seems very unlikely. It could just be silly internet stupid shit.
Well, at the time, there were two other living members of the OG NWO, one of which I know he's local in Florida, that being Hogan. And I'm sure, they flashed enough money at him and, maybe he would have done it. Look, this is coming not from the internet. This is coming from a fucking writer who worked for the company during that period of time. So, Bischoff, somebody should clue him in about where this is coming from. The idea of it's like a shittier version of the League of Nations. Like, why would you attach the NWO initials to this?
Could you imagine Nakamura wearing the black and white shirt?
Well, didn't
oh my god,
who was from New Japan? He joined the NWO at one point. God, who was it?
Someone from New Japan joined the NWO?
Yeah, he was in the faction at one point, and I can't remember who it was, and he never spoke, he never did shit. He just showed up wearing the shirt. That would have been Nakamura. I mean,
who would have been the leader of this group? Lars Sullivan would have been the leader of the group?
Yeah, what role would Lars Sullivan even play in this group? Like, I don't even understand.
I don't know.
Who put this together? Who even thought of something like that? Oh, Chono, thank you. Yes, it was Masahiro Chono. He was in the NWO. But like, who thinks of this stuff? Like, I understand, like in the writer's room, you kind of pitch stuff and you come up with it, and sometimes it's kind of wacky. But like, who would even think to come up with something like this?
I don't know. They came up with Retribution. I don't know. So clearly somebody.
Well, you know what? That's a good point. There was a lot of that going on back then. We had Retribution. We had Reggie a few weeks ago talking about how Vince McMahon wanted to add him to the WrestleMania main event with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair to make it a fucking triple threat.
That would have been fucking terrible.
Yeah, and again, there are people that want this man back in a creative capacity in this company. You people need to be fucking institutionalized. Give me a break.
Oh my god, man, that's hilarious. That's so there you go, man. Whoever reached out to me, man, hopefully you enjoyed that. That's just ridiculous. 2 TNA contracts are coming up. One Leon Slater, the other is Mike Santana. Now, Leon Slater, the news of his contract hit social media last week. He is expected to leave TNA for, according to Meltzer, either WWE or AEW once his contract expires. Dave Meltzer reporting this on the Observer newsletter. Per Meltzer, Cedric Alexander beat Leon Slater to win the X Division title in a 2 out of 3 falls match on the 5/14 live show from Sacramento. So Slater ended up tied with Austin Aries for the longest X title run in TNA at 298 days. A lot of people were mad about them not letting him break the record, which is fucking ridiculous. But the belief is Slater is gone to WWE or AEW and his contract is up. I think it's pretty safe to say, Jason, with him kind of making those appearances for NXT and then obviously being on the John Cena show at Saturday Night's Main Event on the 13th last year in that tag team match with AJ, it's pretty safe to say he's going to land in WWE, right?
Well, first of all, I have to, I think it's important to correct the report, which is that they didn't want him to break the record because he may be leaving to go to WWE or AEW. So let's fix that. They didn't want him to break the record because he might go to AEW. Because why would they give a shit if he was going to WWE? Like, there has to be the expectation that pretty much all of these guys are going to have a pathway to WWE, and they're going to take the first opportunity they get to leave and go to WWE. I don't see why that would bother them, especially if he were to come in and they could like bill him on WWE television as like the longest reigning X Division champion of all time. So if they believe that there was even a chance of him not going to WWE and going somewhere else, that's the reason why they didn't want him to break the record. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, if you would have asked me this question a few months ago, I would have said, 100% guaranteed. Now I think that there's still a very likely chance he'll go to WWE. I tend to lean in the other direction right now, and I feel like it might be better for him to go to AEW. And I understand, like, there's a lot of guys who work that style in that company and all that, but that's also part of the reason why I think it would be, kind of cool to see him there, because the quality of the matches that he would have would be vastly better at the moment if he were to go to AEW than if he went to WWE. Probably would just stick him in NXT. And I feel like he's 21 years old. I feel like he's going to end up in WWE no matter what. Like, if he wanted to go to AEW first and be there for 2 or 3 years and then go to WWE, he's still 24 years old. Think of all the people that he would be able to work with right now at a time in WWE where I don't have the full faith and trust that they would actually be doing with him what they should be doing or using him to his full potential. That's what makes me think maybe the grass isn't greener there. Maybe there is something to the idea of him not going there right away and going somewhere else before he goes there.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
I don't feel as rock solid about it as I would have like when we saw him on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
It's like, of course. Like Mike Santana. Mike Santana's contract is up apparently in like a month or two.
Yeah. And he's still the TNA champion though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look, I don't know the exact end date of his contract, but let's say it's over in mid-July, let's say.
Yeah.
Not a doubt in my mind he's going to WWE. Not a doubt in my mind. You think he would go back to AEW after the way he was treated before?
No, he's not going back there.
So he's as good as gone as far as I'm concerned. Leon Slater, though, I'm not as sure as I would have been 6 months ago.
Do you get a feeling with Leon Slater? Like I get what you're saying, and you're correct. Obviously, the match quality for him would be unbelievable there, and he's young and he could build his resume based on work ethic for sure. Do you feel like if he ends up over there, he's going to be one of many Leon Slaters? Because we said the same thing about Ricochet. Ricochet had to develop a heel persona for himself to stand out. Because when he first got there, he looked great, he felt great, and then all of a sudden he settled in to be like, there's fucking 17 other guys on this roster that do what I do. I got to make myself feel different. Does that happen to Leon Slater if he goes to AEW?
Well, I would hope not. There's always a chance of it. But if Tony Khan is really serious about like wanting the guy and wanting to use him and push him and put him in there with other name talents that he can go in there with and have killer matches with, then I think it could work out okay for him. And he could be a solid addition to kind of the middle of the card on those shows. The key would be to like make sure we're seeing him not just on Collision, but also on Dynamite sometimes. And maybe he could, he's fighting over the TNT title and stuff. That would be my hope. You just don't know because there are so many people who are there. But I don't know. If he goes right to WWE, it's like
he's definitely going right to NXT for sure, 100%.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, I guess that's fine for a while. And then if comes up to the main roster, how long is that going to take? And then once he's there, like, do we have the full faith that they're going to be utilizing him in the way that Leon Slater should be used? What kind of matches is he going to be having in WWE? Or are they going to let him have in WWE? I don't know. I mean, I don't know that he needs to rush right over there. He's got the direct path there, I guess, because of the TNA partnership. But I just think, I don't know. I don't know that that's necessarily the best fit for him right now.
We'll keep an eye on that. Two major names there, as TNA may be losing both Leon Slater and Mike Santana in the next couple of months. So two big losses And we got AEW. We're not going to go over too much of what happened on Dynamite. I'll leave Jason to give his quick thoughts here because we talked about the one big thing. MJF is defending the title against Roosh tomorrow night. AEW World Championship on the line. There was a checklist I put out on social media, Jason, before last week's Dynamite, and I wanted AEW to hit on a couple of those, and they did hit on all of them, which, in my opinion, is a lot better than what they did previously with these follow-up shows. Kevin Knight turned heel at the pay-per-view. He explained whether it was a proper or fulfilling explanation. At least he gave one. Kyle Fletcher explained why he did what he did to Takeshita. Cope and Christian came out. They got opponents next in line for the tag team titles, whether you like them or not. I find them to be utterly boring, but they do have opponents going into Forbidden Door. What else was a big takeaway for you on what I thought was largely, again, a flat follow-up show to a pay-per-view, a hot pay-per-view?
The big takeaway for me was right at the beginning of the show when they had that backstage segment, which wasn't even technically at Dynamite. I think it was from the Double or Nothing backstage
the Ospreay Omega, yeah.
Ospreay and Omega. Second time now that we've had a segment like that. The two of them just sitting there in the trainer's room. And it was kind of nice, to have like one of those backstage segments and we see the dialogue between them. And then Mox came in and I don't know, I'm watching this and I'm like, we have Omega, Moxley, and Ospreay all on screen at the same time. And it just hit me like we don't get enough of these like backstage.
Yeah, they're very well shot. I like them.
We don't get enough of them.
Yeah.
And I wish they would do more of that with the bigger names. But my takeaway was, holy shit, it feels like Kenny Omega is going to be getting a championship match at Redemption, which is their new pay-per-view, which is, we now know, taking place in Montreal on July 26th. And so they're going to want to do that show up real big. And it feels to me like we are probably looking at an Omega MJF main event. If that is the case, there's no way Omega loses that. They're not like I cannot envision a scenario where if they do that match, he loses again. He's not going to drop his second straight pay-per-view in Canada, no less. It was Vancouver in April. And so now they're in Montreal and they're going to do the match again and not have him win the championship. There's no way. There's no way.
So
if they do that match, he's going to win the belt.
So what does that mean for MJF going into Wembley?
Mick Foley.
That's exactly what I said on the coach. He laughed at me.
Why did he laugh at you?
Because he doesn't think Mick Foley's going to wrestle. I'm like, Coach, don't put it past Tony Khan.
Dude, the minute he signed and they said that Mick Foley was all elite, I said, guarantee we're getting a wrestling match with Mick Foley. I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how long. And then he went on Ariel Helwani's show this afternoon. And he was asked about that. And he said, yeah, he would love to have a match in AEW, but the circumstances would have to be right. And he would have to be able to protect his head. So if there was a way to do it, he would love to have a match in AEW. Like, it's going to happen, dude. Like, it's 100% going to happen. I don't know if it'll happen this soon, but they've already teased issues with him and MJF. His first night in, MJF kicked him in the balls. They've already set it up. So, I'm not saying guaranteed that's what MJF's going to be doing. I'm just saying, like, you asked me, like, well, what does he do? Well, there's one idea. If you wanted to do, like, a big Wembley match, Mick Foley wrestles in AEW for the first time. If they can find a way to construct a match in such a way that would protect his head, which is the real concern, because you don't want him getting concussed, absolutely I could see them doing that. Absolutely.
Well, listen. I'm
not saying I would do it.
No,
I would not do that.
No, I envision that for sure. The thing is, what does that do for MJF to win the championship back at Double or Nothing and then quickly drop it to Kenny Omega? How do you even make sense of that? And how do you protect MJF, who honestly is their biggest guy right now?
If they do this, and I'm just saying, coming out of that Dynamite, it just felt to me like this is what they're preparing to do. If that's the case, I don't know why you wouldn't have just had Omega beat him for the belt at Dynasty.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense to do it now when you could have done it in April and gotten a few months out of Omega as the champion and then built to him putting over Will at Wembley. So, yeah, I agree. Like, they just put the belt back on MJF and then to take it off of him again. And then Kenny's going to lose it. So what sense does it make to have Omega have a 1-month title reign? That's what Darby had. I'm not saying any of this makes sense or I would do it, but that was my gut feeling coming out of Dynamite. Like, holy shit, they're really going to do this. They're really going to put the belt on Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I've been saying it on Wednesday with Jesse for a couple of weeks now. He doesn't believe me. I said the same exact thing. He's like, man, that's a fucking weird, demented way to think. I'm like, bro, it's going to happen. The thing is, we can get to MJF and Wembley as world champion. We can do Ospreay winning the Owen. We can do MJF and Omega and Ospreay in a triple threat match and make it make sense. Just to get MJF there so he has at least a decent reign after winning it back so he doesn't have to drop it so soon. But I don't think Tony's going to want to do that. Or
I don't think so either.
Or we can do MJF and Will Ospreay, which is, I think, our preferred choice for the main event. And then if you want Omega and Moxley based off the interaction they had in that same vignette and that same promo, you could do Moxley and Omega at Wembley. Sure. Other than that, I don't know how else they go about it. I don't like it either. And then it's what also sucks is that August 5th they're going to Grand Slam Mexico, and if they take the belt off MJF, the proposed match of MJF and Andrade in Mexico for the AEW World Championship would theoretically be off the table.
Mm-hmm.
You can still do the match, but I think the World Championship.
Well, the last match that Omega and Andrade had, did Andrade win that match?
Yes.
Well, there you go. If Omega were to win the championship, it might be him defending against Andrade, and he gets his win back, and he beats Andrade.
Look at that, chat. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So I wonder how many more of these vignettes they're gonna have. I'm sold on it already. If they give us another one, then you know it's in the bank for sure.
If this is, and we don't know, but like if this is how it plays out, at least they've been dropping breadcrumbs and they're trying to tell some kind of story with it. You know, they were going back and forth about, why didn't you call me? Why'd you go with the Death Riders? He goes, well, because you're never around. And Omega's like, well, you know, my body doesn't heal up the way it used to. I'm not the same guy. You're not the same guy. And just my favorite part of this was him basically saying, I'm not saying I don't trust the Death Riders. And then later in the same promo, he's like, I'm just saying, watch your back around these guys. I'm like, so that is what you're saying. You don't trust the Death Riders. But like they're telling that story, and then he goes to leave, and Ospreay's like, well, yeah, because Omega was like, I already lost. I had my shot at the title. And Ospreay's trying to give him a pep talk. He's like, hey, don't give up on that world title.
Yeah.
He's like, you too. And I'm like, okay, we can kind of see where we're going with this.
So I know Tony Khan made a mention of Mick Foley wanting to be in Montreal for Redemption. He didn't really give away that he was going to be there. So if that's going to be the match, maybe Mick Foley costs MJF. It's got to be a setup for whatever's coming.
He could be a referee.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be the referee for that match. And then if Kenny wins, MJF holds it against Foley, and that's sort of the impetus for them to have a match of some kind, non-sanctioned. It could be any kind of match. It's just, again, the idea of Mick Foley being back in the ring, just based on his history of concussions and him concussing himself so easily in the prep for what he said was going to be his retirement match, which is why it didn't happen. It just sounds like a really bad idea. You could always do like a cinematic style match. That was what they brought Sting in for. They thought Sting was going to do cinematic matches, and he did one. And then it just turned into what it turned into, where Darby had him doing... Darby inspired him to do balcony dives. And just, there's no way that Foley doesn't get in the ring to have an actual, like, non-cinematic, actual wrestling match. You saw how excited he was coming out of that first show. He talked about, like, oh my God, it made me feel this. He said
Double or Nothing was one of the greatest, if not the greatest pay-per-view he's ever been a part of.
Yeah. Yeah. He was so excited by it. He had goosebumps and everything. Dude, there's no fucking way he doesn't wrestle. And Tony Khan was asked about this on the media call heading into Double or Nothing, and he didn't rule out the idea. He goes, I would love it if Mick Foley wrestled for me. You know, it would have to make sense and all that, but like, I would love it. I would love it if you wrestled in an AEW ring. Dude, it's going to happen.
It would be the ultimate gamble. If he can pull it off and he comes out of this unscathed and in one piece, his final match will be against MJF. And what a fucking final match that would be if he can pull it off.
Well, not even necessarily his final match. I think if they had a match and it went well, believe me, it wouldn't be his final match. But of the people for him to work with, who I'm sure would take care of him and protect him, I'm sure MJF would be a safe choice. It's just how do you construct that, in a believable way? How do you construct a match like that where you just try to protect this guy's head? It's like Brett.
Yeah.
When Brett came back in 2010, he wrestled Vince at WrestleMania. Remember, supposedly the rule was no shots to the head.
Yeah.
Now, they had a terrible fucking match, but all things considered, given the state that Brett was in after he had his stroke, it's a miracle he was even able to get in the ring. But that was the thing with Brett. Like, you can't touch his head. And nobody did. Nobody ever threw a punch at his head. Nobody kicked him in the head. Nobody dumped him on his head. So, I mean, there's a way to do it. That could very well be the match.
Again, this is all just kind of thinking out loud. I hope we are both wrong and we get Ospreay and MJF, but we've been there, done that. They might not want to run that back, and what we're talking about now may truly be the direction for All In. So that is what to look forward to on Dynamite, and that wraps up another TNT here for episode 149. Thank you guys very much. Great discussion tonight. Fun time tonight. Seems like you guys had a great time as well. We have over 2,400 people in here. We are nearing 750 likes, and the super chats are open. Get them on in. Best way to support the show. If you guys want to get in the support as well, you can definitely buy a shirt because they are still available and will be available on fourthwall.com. Make sure you guys go and get that. New Tuesday Night Titans design now available on fourthwall.com. We'll take on Metallica's Ride the Lightning there. So go pick that up today. Very happy with that design. That's available now. Follow us on social media at JD from NY206, at Solomonster. Make sure you guys follow Jason on YouTube as well. We will both be live for Dynamite tomorrow night on our respective channels. And let's get into the super chats here and wrap this up as we head towards episode 150 next week.
Man,
it's crazy.
Already.
And I know I took a look at the NBA playoffs schedule. We escaped the Knicks and Spurs tonight. Our Dynamite streams tomorrow, not so lucky. Friday Night SmackDown, being that the game is happening on Friday, I actually might go live earlier because I don't want to be live when that's happening. So we may be unscathed there if we both go live early. But apparently there's a lot of days off in between. So unfortunately, Tuesday Night Titans next week will be affected by both NXT and the NBA Finals. So if you guys are with us, we appreciate you because I know it's going to be a big next 2 weeks for the New York City.
Would that be game 4 or game 5 next Tuesday?
Tomorrow is game 1. Friday's game 2. I think that may either be game 3. I think it's game 3. Yeah, I don't know why there's so much spread. I don't know why they're not doing a weekend game. It might be game 3 or game 4. I think there may be one on the weekend, but I'm not really sure. Someone let me know in the chat. I was just looking to see how that schedule is going to affect us next week. But super chats, let's get into them. Michael Krause with a 2. JD Jason OTS, all brakes, no gas with it. TNT, yeah. There's no game on. Okay, so we escaped. There's no game on Tuesday. Okay, that's good.
So why did you say there was a game on Tuesday?
I thought there was a game on Tuesday. I thought we were affected next week.
But you were looking at the schedule.
I looked at it 2 days ago.
Well, I'm going to look at it now.
Game 3 is Monday, says IMK in the chat. All right.
So there is no game next Tuesday.
Okay, good.
So we're good.
Can't say the same for our other streams though, but thank God WWE's overseas, so we might be okay. Thank you, Michael. Hardcore Kevin with a 5. JD Jason, banger stream today. Question of the day: have you ever been in a backyard wrestling match, or have you ever commentated one?
No.
I took a bump with Grimm's Toy Show in GTS Wrestling many years ago. I played one of his evil clowns, and they unmasked me, and I took a bump through I took a shield power bomb through a table. I can't say that the drive home was pleasant because my head was ringing, but it was fun.
Well, I got my ass handed to me on an actual show by a couple of people. You were there. You called it.
I was, yes.
As I was laying among broken glass and blood and all kinds of lovely things.
Yes, and the same guy knocked me out as I needed to take a one month hiatus on commentary. Olivia with a 1. Did you guys watch the story of Vladimir on the Vault? I have not yet.
I watched it when it was on Peacock. So I saw it a long time ago, and it is well worth the 37 minutes of your time.
Olivia also says, JD Solo, TNT, Sound Off, OTS, much love from Bulgaria.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Eddie with a $5 super chat. First donation. Love the honesty in your content. If only more people would just be honest about how bad AEW and WWE are. Wishful thinking, I know. First of all, Eddie, thank you. We appreciate you being here. It's not all bad. I think both of us can say that most of the time it's mostly boring. And when it's boring, sometimes it's a lot worse than it just being flat out bad. There's just a sameness and a lifelessness to a feeling to it. It's not good. Caden with a 199, no message. Thank you, Caden. Michelle with a 4. Is Roman going to hold the title hostage again? Rock Roman at Mania talk. No one cares now. Well, I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of people that care about it if he can commit to it. But is Roman going to hold the title hostage? You're probably looking until next year's WrestleMania, I would say, right, Jason? Easy.
Well, let's see what happens at SummerSlam.
Okay.
My hope is that if he is really going to slip back into the part-time role and not be around as much, I really don't want that title on him. Like, just as a viewer.
No,
like,
me
it sucks. It sucks when the champion is... We've seen it so many times. And not just with him, but with others as well. And I just don't really have the appetite for it. So, if he's going to be around, that's one thing. But if he's not, then get it off of him.
Adam Hack with a $5 super chat. Triple H is so safe he practices falling asleep before actually doing it. He's so safe he whispers during arguments to avoid escalation. He is safe. I don't know why he's become so safe, but it's actually ruining the shows. Angel with 49 months. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Bossmo Jackson with the 199. Another great TNT stream. 2 thumbs up. Thank you, Bossmo Jackson. Michelle with a 2. When does Cody lose the title and to whom? That's a good question. We don't know when Randy's getting back. I would have said Randy, but his status is just a huge question mark. CM Punk, maybe?
I mean, Cody and Punk is the match that I would like to see.
Possible SummerSlam coming up there. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the Randy... God damn. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, me too.
I hate to say it, but
the McAfee stuff mixed with the injury that he might or might not have, it's over.
Yeah.
Tanmay, 77 months. Thank you, brother. Longest reigning member here on the channel. Hello, JD, Jason, and OTS family. Thank you, brother. Solo Monsters. Oh, my God. We got one from 199 from Solo Monster's son, apparently.
Bastard.
Daddy, will you take me to the Knicks game, please?
Yeah. Always looking for money this one.
Apparently, minimum ticket's $4,000, man. You want to go?
I don't think they're putting the tickets on sale to the general public. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I don't even think they're putting the tickets on sale to the general public. So they're shutting people out.
Wow. Fucking New York
TKO
Knicks finally in the final. Finally in the final. How long has it been? 20 years?
Since 99.
And they're not letting normies go to the game? Holy shit.
No, I don't believe so.
Wow.
TKO is, they got their pad out. They're taking notes.
Oh, my goodness. Mr. Sports Commentary with a $2.99 coming to us from Australia. You guys heal me so much. Heart emoji. Oba reminds me of Matanza. Does he? Nobody can be Matanza.
Who's he referring to?
Oba.
Oba doesn't remind me at all of Matanza. Matanza was, first of all, smaller than Oba, had a mask on. What's the similarity between them? I mean, they're both, I guess, kind of like wrecking machines, but that's where the similarities end.
Lucha Underground has uploaded their first episode ever on their YouTube channel, right? What happened?
Oh, well, yes. Yeah, I'll come back to that in a second. Tawab. Look at Tawab's comment in the chat.
Tawab. That's why Solo doesn't give back shots anymore. Oh, my God. Jesus,
now you know.
Jesus Christ.
Every time he pops up in the super chats, I shudder because it's one bastard son. No, so what was I going to say? What was the question?
Lucha Underground on YouTube.
Yes. So I guess that was the big announcement. Remember they were teasing something?
Yes.
And so I noticed that they have started posting the full episodes of the old shows on their YouTube channel. So episode 1 and now episode 2 has been posted.
Might have to go back and relive some of that stuff.
So I guess I don't know if it's going to be 1 per week. I don't know why they teased it that way, where they got people's hopes up thinking it was going to be something else, and it was just like, yeah, we're putting the episodes on our YouTube channel. But I mean, that's cool. Hopefully it'll attract a new audience of people that have never seen them before, because I was a huge Lucha Underground fan.
Yeah. Caesar with a 3 months. Hi, JD and Solomonster. The corrupt referee Dan Engler, always involved in controversial Cody title matches, first against Drew and now against Gunther. This is true. I don't think there's a correlation or a follow-up that will be had, Caesar.
Still waiting on the fucking payoff to this Becky Lynch, Jessica Carr stuff.
Yeah.
Been going on for over a year now.
Vulcan with a $2 super chat. What is your go-to diner meal?
Love diners. My go-to diner meal is a bowl of chicken noodle soup. And then it depends. I mean, I'm a simple guy. So a lot of times it'll end up being like tuna salad on white toast with French fries. And I'm happy.
That's where that works. Me, I'm a good fat classic cheeseburger guy with fries, or a nice plate of hearty pancakes, chocolate chip.
If it's not that, it could be a triple decker sandwich.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good old diner, man. You don't find them anymore, or at least good ones anyway. Thank you, Vulcan. Baltimore Jackson with the $4.99. I saw MK Saturday. Strongly enjoyed it. It was a 7 on story and rated an 8 on fight scenes. Producers already working on the next film. Thoughts and comments. I haven't seen it yet. Jason said he enjoyed it.
Talking about Mortal Kombat 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was better than the first one from a few years ago.
Sidro with the 44 months. What do you call a flying nun? A bird? An airplane? An arrow? Or none of the above? What is the most welcoming spice?
Sporty.
Come in. Oh my God. Cumin. Come in. Sidro, you're a fucking beast, bro. I'm sorry. Also on a $5 super chat, saw a guy carrying a long stick. You a pole vaulter? No, I'm German. How you know my name's Walter? And why did Mike Tyson play PlayStation? Because he's an ex-boxer.
Not bad.
Sidra also at a $5 super chat. As I got off elevator, operator says, "Have a good day, son." I said, "Don't call me son. You're not my dad." He replied, "Maybe not, but I did bring you up." That's a good one. Hacky sack for 35 months. A Mexican is born wherever the damn well he pleases. Mexican flag emoji, OTS for life, boys. Thank you, Hacky sack. Sidro with a $10 super chat. Woman, your porn addiction is ruining our marriage. The man says, you too. You read 50 Shades of Grey. Woman says, no. That book has a storyline to it. Man says, yeah, same here. That busty MILF can't afford to pay the plumber. Sidra also with a $10 super chat. Lost my job at the bank on my first day. An old woman asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her over.
I knew it was coming. Before you even said it, I knew it was coming.
And accidentally drank holy water with my laxative. I'm about to start a religious movement. Thank you, Sidro. Baltimore Jacks with the $4.99. Fans overseas are better than here in the States, but Gunther felt watered down in his match. It just didn't feel like a Gunther match at all. Well, maybe because it only went 11 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know what else to tell you. I thought it was fine until they ended it. There was like 10 more minutes left on the table. Hopefully they add more to that in Saudi Arabia. LT Full with a 5. Do you want a box for your leftovers? No, but I'll wrestle you for them. My guy Bastardo with a $5 super chat. JD, I'm with you every podcast. Share rants with friends who don't watch wrestling and they love your excitement and drive to be the best. Hope you're well, brother. Thank you, Bastardo. I appreciate you, man. I'm sure we'll run into each other one of these days again. Major Motions with the 199. These past 6 months, Jade has been killing it. She's getting a little better. She's not as bad as when she first got here. The match with Rhea at WrestleMania was genuinely a good match. Jason liked the one here in Italy better than the one at WrestleMania, but the last 2 matches are showing progress, which is great. And she's in there with Rhea, so that's the person you got to be in there with. Baltimore Jackson with the 499. I have mixed feelings on Soul's IC run. I initially thought it was too soon, but maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully they don't screw this up. Brock, Oba 2 is better than 1. We got Lyra. Lyra's she's crafty. She's good. I hope they don't make this an every week thing. Who do you think? You think that she's going back to Becky, Jason? She's going to beat Becky again. What do they do ultimately with Soul going into SummerSlam? What do you think the best opponent for her is? Or who do you want to see?
I mean, you got a couple of different options from the Judgment Day. You got Roxanne. I think something with Soul and Roxanne could be good.
I like it. More Roxanne on my TV is good TV.
Yeah.
Hollywood guy with a 5. Didn't WWE try to get Maxine over by beating Becky and winning the IC belt? She had a push, and now she is irrelevant, and so will Sol Ruka, unfortunately. No.
I think they're going to try a little bit harder with Sol than they did with Maxine Dupree.
No, it's not going to
I wouldn't be too worried about that.
No. Paul David with a new membership and a $5 super chat. Hey, boys, predictions for the NBA Finals.
Knicks. I'm going to go Knicks in 6.
Hey, you going with a hot hand, huh? I don't know how long this... Usually, this is the part I don't get. And I felt this as being a Braves fan. When you have this much of a layoff, and then the next game, you kind of lose all that momentum. You want to keep the ball going. That's why I hate these playoffs where the wild card teams got to play, and then the fucking people that won the division got to sit out for 7 days. If you're hot, you want to keep playing. I hope it doesn't affect them that way. I'm going to go Spurs in 7. I'm going Spurs in 7.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be public enemy number 1 here in New York.
I want the Knicks to win.
You're going to have to become JD from San Antonio. You're not going to be welcome here.
So I'm moving from New York to Utah to Texas. Okay. Lucha Trooper with a 7 months. I'm doing an all-in main event prediction. Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, and Will Ospreay triple threat. Omega walks in as AEW champion. Okada? No.
Yeah, I don't see that.
No. I don't know what Okada does at all in. Don Stoney with a 5. Shout out to Don Tony, Wrestling Soup, Spitball Media, and as always, R.I.P. Kevin Castle. Thank you, Stoney, for being here always, brother. Appreciate you. Baltimore Jackson with a 9.99. It's odd hearing you guys talk about NBA. I've heard it more the last week or two than the whole time I've been watching you guys, but it's different. I didn't think you guys were NBA fans. Spurs win in 6. Ooh. See, Baltimore Jackson going with Spurs in 6.
No. I think it's Knicks in 6.
We'll see. Alex with a 10. Brother JD and Solo, I hate to ask you this, and I know it's been asked 100 times, but with Cody's involvement with Roman heading into the second half of the year, can we see the final boss make his return? I'll let Jason answer that one. He says no. No on Dwayne. Big E to win. $4.99. So what's it called when you do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? Oh, yeah. Insanity. Is Sesame Street Levesque going insane? I was told today, I don't know how true this, I ex-coached this, and he actually said this is true. So I'm curious to see what Jason says. Do you think Ari Emanuel is funneling his love for the bloodline through WWE Creative, and that's why we're seeing so much of it? You think Ari has a lot to do with Roman and the bloodline being on television in the manner that we're seeing it now with Jacob?
I think, I mean, I could believe that TKO loves the bloodline and they want as much Roman on TV as possible. It's probably why Roman also is the champion right now. Probably see the numbers, merch numbers and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me at all if they were like, hey, we need more of this, keep doing this. It's like, okay. And I'm sure Triple H is happy to oblige because, again, it's the biggest story that they've had creatively in this company over the last several years. But does TKO encourage it? Probably. I'm sure we know. I mean, Mark Shapiro said, like, they have input when they want to have input. We saw that going into WrestleMania this year. They may not flex their muscle with every creative decision at all times, but it doesn't get any bigger than the bloodline in this company. I would imagine they would have some say in that.
Yeah, plus Roman wants a Hollywood connection. Cody has, Roman is starring in Street Fighter, so is Cody. So obviously there's a Hollywood connection there, and Ari is a Hollywood agent. So
I'm not starring, but he's one of many.
He's one of many, yes. Big E to win with a $4.99. So when Cody is brought back into the Bloodline story, are we going to hear Roman acknowledge me? Cody, sure, because I'm easy to find and hard to beat. Yes, exactly that.
God.
Yeah.
This is going to go back and forth.
Yep.
Acknowledge me. And then Cody will say his phrase.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And then Trick Williams will come out and talk about lemon pepper steppers, and let's talk about it. What do you want to talk about?
Solo.
Let's talk about it.
See, we did that on purpose, Roger. It says we dressed like the teams this week.
Arabian Night with a yes, we did actually. I didn't even notice that until you mentioned that. Arabian Night with a $6.99 reports TNA didn't want Leon Slater to break X Division record because he's leaving for WWE or AEW. Why would it matter due to the partnership? Maybe he's all inbound. Maybe, like Jason said, it's a possibility. You know, we'll see what happens. He's a talented guy. Michael Krause with the $2 Super Chat. Cody beats Roman to complete his story again.
Oh, my God.
That'll fall flat on its face, too.
That's one way. You want to turn Cody heel. That's one way to do it.
Yes. Bro Mobile with a 10 coming to us from Australia. Hey, guys, I'm not watching live today as we just suffered a loss in the family. We put our German Shepherd Marley down today. I just want to thank JD for tuning me into Alter Bridge and Blackbird. It has helped. Bro Mobile, I am you're very sorry to hear that, brother. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. Hopefully you find some escape in what we're doing here on Tuesday and the streams that we put out during the week. That's never easy. I don't really have anything to tell you, but it gets easier. They will always be with you, man. I can't tell you how many times I think about Bacardi every day. Their presence will be felt. I promise you. And Blackbird is amazing. For stuff like that, man, it is truly amazing. Michael Krause with the $2 Super Chat. Cody will win the Rumble 3 times in a row now. I never want to see Cody win a Rumble again. LT Fool with a 5. As executive of TKO, I believe you can get 6 more years out of this bloodline story. I don't know if anybody will have the brain capacity to deal with that for another year, never mind 6 years.
Do you see some of these fans on social media? I don't think they have any brain capacity.
No.
The way they talk about this stuff?
No. That's all we need is a Roman or solo avatar coming at us and telling us that we're not Oos or we're not Oosie.
It's funny how that always works, right?
Yeah.
Like some of the hate that I got even for like at the end of Clash in Italy, I posted something. And like almost to a T, like you can see it usually in the avatar, but sometimes you have to go and it's in the banner on the page. But like in the bio, you'll see the little like the finger in the air,
yeah,
you know, or the little drop of blood.
Yeah,
and it's like okay, instantly just
mute
or block and move on.
Yeah, I said something to the effect of when Solo showed up at the end of Clash in Italy, I said, "Who asked for this?" We're like, "No, we don't want to see this." And then one guy in my comment section, "Who's we, Unk?" Apparently you want to see Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns feud. I'm sorry, man. Nobody asked for that. And nobody ever calls me Unk. I guess I'm in Unk territory now. I don't know. Whatever, man. Joker Face with a $4.99. If you guys could play a comic book character, who would you be? I think JC would be a good Captain America, and JD would make a great Wolverine.
I think Captain America or Peter Parker. I think either one works.
I know you guys saw that new Wolverine gameplay trailer today from Sony State of Play. Man, that shit looks fucking great, man. From Insomniac Games, the same people that made the Arkham series for Batman. Oh, my goodness.
I think they have a Halloween game coming out, right, this September, I believe.
Who? Insomniac Games?
No, I'm just saying there's I think a Michael Myers Halloween game.
Oh, maybe. That wasn't at the State of Play, but I think I had seen that on YouTube somewhere, yeah. Noble Prince with a $4.99. Thanks again for another great show. Salute, Commissioner. OTS and TNT for life.
Very welcome.
GC America with a $1.99. Tired of Samoan supremacy in WWE. A lot of people are, man. A lot of people are. We got Ash with a 2. What did you guys think of Goldust's WCW 7 gimmick?
Terrible. Awful.
Give me Goldust. Loved Goldust. Eddie with a 3. Charlotte vs. EO, Queen of the Ring final. Don't screw it up, Triple H. I could see it. We talked about it earlier. This may be Triple H's make good for not including EO at WrestleMania. And then failing her on the Kyrie storyline. Jericho with a 20. It unfortunately seems like WWE setting up an NWO-esque Samoan supergroup with one collective bloodline. The bloodline feels like a movie franchise with 7 different cash grab sequels that stopped being good after movie number 1. So basically Fast and Furious is what we're looking at. Yeah. I mean, they're going to run it into the ground, but they're missing that Sami Zayn element that made it oh so genuine. Hollywood guy with a 5. Do you guys see Montez costing Seth a match? If so, when and where?
No, because he just helped him. What really wouldn't make a whole lot of sense after he helped him last night.
And I'm not exactly about minusing another tag team from the division. Aurelio with a $9.99. I just wanted to confirm that Corey Graves was indeed there, as was Paul Heyman. Both were shown in the backstage photos and were also seen on the company jet with Gable immediately after the show. This is news to me.
Sure didn't sound like it.
Didn't sound like it. And if he was there and got on a plane to Italy after that show, man, he is a fucking absolute beast. But it's on the private jet, and I'm sure he was taken care of very lavishly. Alex with a $5 super chat. Buy, rent, sell on your favorite SmackDown match. Lesnar, Angle, Iron Man from 03. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan 2020. Edge versus Eddie Guerrero 2002.
Brock and Kurt.
You buying on that? What are you selling on? I got to sell on the AJ Bryan match from 2020.
That was in the empty performance center, I think.
Yeah, just because of that.
That was a good match, but yeah, I got to sell on that one.
Thank you, Alex. Lord Gasmick with a 10. Yo, JD, so you know how you did Mario Kart Mondays after the Raw review. Since you're playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, what about a Final Fantasy Fridays? Would love to hear your commentary on the fuckery in that game. Brother, Mario Kart Mondays, I mean, after a 2.5 hour stream to exude more energy playing Mario Kart for everybody, it's a little tough. Plus, I think the allure of it being that JD from 13 years ago can't have as much fun saying half the shit that he used to say in 2026. Also, Final Fantasy Fridays, bro, I just have fun just roaming around the open world, just fighting enemies and building my level up. I think that makes for boring streaming, honestly. Just something I enjoy because Destiny's going to be going away. So I need to find something new to play. Chrono with a $5 super chat. Hypothetically, if Heyman was in AEW, which male, female would he manage? Also, Crush, Kelly Kapowski, or Topanga? Finally, your favorite dessert. Much love, guys. Wow, okay, this is a good question. Who would he manage, Heyman?
What was it in terms of just females?
Male or female.
Male or female. In modern WWE?
In AEW. If he was in AEW.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, there's any number of people that could be Heyman guys. It's kind of interesting to think of a Heyman girl. I feel like I don't know, like Tekla or like a Jamie Hayter or someone like that. I feel like could work if they wanted to go with a female. And then as far as like a male, I mean, probably half the members of the Callis family would work as Heyman guys.
Yeah, my yeah, it was this. I was thinking the same thing. My top 2 would be Kyle Fletcher or a heel Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah, probably one of them would make the most sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Although, hey, newly healed Kevin Knight, that would work too.
I think he could use a mouthpiece just the way he's going, but I doubt they do that. But we'll see. Kelly or Topanga? That's a tough.
Back in the day,
That's a
it
tough
was
one.
Kelly.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it now, honestly, I probably would go Topanga, but like at the time, for me, it was Kelly.
Yeah,
I was also a Lisa Turtle guy.
At least it was hot. Lisa was hot for sure.
Oh yeah.
I got to go Topanga then and Topanga now. I don't know what Tiffany Amber Thiessen looks like nowadays, but I would have one that trumps both of them. Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Sure. Yeah.
That's just me. But yeah, out of the two, Topanga. Yeah.
I just remember when she threw up on the president.
Oh, Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yeah. You remember that?
No.
I think she threw up on Bush.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't recall. The Mother Lover with a $4.99. Oba and Brock 3 at SummerSlam would be great, but WWE should already be planning what's next for Oba, or they'll just keep asking Brock to come back. I'm tired of wondering about what they do with Oba. If Oba beats Brock and he doesn't get a championship match at SummerSlam, it is a big problem about where they go with him. It starts to get a little murky. Do they give him an IC title run? Who do they feud him with?
He doesn't need that.
No? I don't know. Base Beers with a 2. Mick had an interesting title run in TNA. Did he? What was so interesting?
God, was it with that Legends title? They had a Legends title for a while. I don't think he didn't have the TNA title.
Oh, I don't know. Don Stoney with a 2. Sabrett, Dirty Water Dogs or Nathan's?
Nathan's.
Yeah. Caden with a... Where did I go here? Caden with the 20 months. OTS for life. Please move Julia to Raw. Roxanne, Stephanie, and Julia on the same brand. Fire emoji. Women's tag team titles, for God's sakes, man. Yeah, I mean, it's some of the worst television they have. It's awful. Alex with a $5 super chat. If Enzo can grow up and change his attitude, can his potential new run in WWE with Big Bill revitalize the tag team division? No. No, you need other people around them to revitalize the tag team division. They're not going to be able to do it themselves with no division. Enzo's good. Enzo is fine. I'm a fan of Enzo.
Was a TNA World Champion? Are you fucking kidding me?
Uh-oh. He's gonna look this up now.
Hold on a second. I gotta see this. All right, TNA. Hey, he was I was right. He was a TNA Legends champion, but yeah, he was a TNA World Heavyweight champion for 63 days.
Oh my God.
He beat Sting for the title and then lost it in a King of the Mountain match to Kurt Angle.
Oh my goodness.
Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett, Mick Foley, and Samoa Joe. I have no memory of this.
It's quite the cast of characters there. Tony Brown with a $4.99. JD Jason, does Tekla taste as good as she looks? Tony Brown, stop gooning. Though it is very difficult to stop gooning over Tekla. Jesse loves Tekla. What? Yeah, he loves Tekla, yeah. Her and Statlander are his favorites.
Well, Statlander is very good.
Yeah. Justin with a $9.99. Hello, guys. You guys are the best in the industry. A question for Solo. Would you ever consider doing Be the Booker for TNT? Also saw rumors Braun Breaker is injured again. Thanks to the best in the IWC. Thank you, Justin.
No. If you want Be the Booker, you can only find it in one place.
Yeah, we don't need to spread. We don't need to spread Be the Booker thin. You know.
Logistically, it wouldn't work here anyway.
No.
But, you want to see JD step into the ring with Bruno Sammartino? There's only one place to go.
Yes. How many matches have I had on Be the Booker? It was against Bruno. Didn't I wrestle Vince Russo in one of them or no?
No, I forgot who it wasn't. Russo. I forgot who it was. When I landed on the JD image, I was kind of hoping it would be like Dax or it would be someone like really good to get you in the ring with.
What stream did you take that image from, and why did you stop it on that?
I don't know.
I'm like, what is this picture here? You couldn't find a more flattering picture of myself.
You're looking very happy and jolly.
I guess,
picture.
sure. Braun Breaker injured? No. According to the false finish guys, he is not injured, and he will be okay moving forward. So that's the last thing they need. If that's the case, just fucking end the group, period. Furious with a $4.99 and a $4.99. What's up, JD Solo? Already June, and it's nuts. Also appreciate everything you guys do, hanging in there. I am still unemployed, hoping for the best. Brother, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Patience.
Yes.
Patience.
Also, so thank you for a while since I have a vending machine business and a YouTube channel. JD, what would be your best advice for maybe taking a chance on myself? On YouTube? Just do it. You know, I will say, and this is not a knock on anybody, it's a lot more difficult now than when Jason and I started the YouTube channels and started going live. It's a lot more difficult. Just put yourself out there, buy yourself a decent webcam. You can get an Elgato one for like $99. Buy a decent microphone, make yourself sound good. Just put yourself out there, talk about what you're passionate about, and I guarantee you, bro, people will listen. Caden with a $1.99. When could Roxy cash in Money in the Bank if she wins it? I don't know. Liv Morgan would have to be the women's champion for that to make sense, but if Io gets the shot at Liv at SummerSlam, I don't think we're talking about Roxy cashing in on Liv, right?
No, I mean, it would probably be Io at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because if it was coming before SummerSlam, then that opens up a whole bunch of possibilities, but it's over a month after that. So she could cash in anytime. I don't know that it would be a quick cash in. I feel like she would probably hold on to it for a little bit.
Yeah. And Furious with a $1.99. We got two more here. Furious with a $1.99. There's always a plan B. This is from Triple H. He said this on June 2nd, 2014. There's always a plan B.
And then Rollins put the chair in Roman's back.
Yep. And we got a $5 super chat from Blue Chew. Do you think an evil ginger faction in a takeover or invasion angle would work if it were pushed strong and done right? An evil ginger faction? Led by who? Sheamus? Why do we have to look at Sheamus as an evil ginger? I just want him back on television.
Is he implying that all gingers are evil?
Who would be in this faction? Is Sheamus and Sammy?
Paige?
Paige.
I don't know.
She may block you after that comment, man. I don't know.
No, I just thought the pasty.
Oh my God.
Sheamus. Never mind.
Sheamus, Sammy, and the gingerbread man is their mascot, man. Listen, let's make it happen. It's better than the fucking MFTs.
That would be kind of interesting if an entire army of like gingerbread men in like retaliation for what happened to the other one just showed up one day, and like the way that the Nexus debuted all those years ago, they just started killing people, ripping up the ring.
That'd be a lot more entertaining than what we get on any random Friday. Guys, thank you very much for all your support. We'll see you next week. It'll be episode 150 here on TNT. So please show your support where you can. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. Follow us on social media. Follow Jason on YouTube. Everything you need for him is linked down below. As always, go buy a t-shirt. They're available on fourthwall.com. Also, that link is down in the description. And as always, for this Tuesday night, I'm going to let Jason sound us off for another great Tuesday night.
Well, yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Bronson Reed, who, of course, is on the mend. And he posted on social media a little bit earlier that he was in I guess he was rear-ended in a car crash. So he had a rear collision. He said, thankfully, everybody is okay, but people, and this is a good message here to deliver. It says, people, stop driving on your damn phones. It says, pay attention. People have kids in their cars. So, yes, please pay attention on the road.
Yes, I hate that. That's awful. Shout out to Bronson Reed. We miss him.
Terrible. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for all of your support again. We will see you right back here next week for episode 150 of Tuesday Night Titans. Until then, guys, we'll see you next week.